Hello, this is Greg Allison Green Greg's coming to you live Wednesday night, 8/17, August 22. Time on deck is 23:4100 hours Central Daylight Time. My friends, we are facing some interesting situations right now with China and a lot of analysis flying around. Will they attack? When will they attack? Will they not attack? They won't attack. Well, I got some perspective to share with you. And yes, they may attack and they may attack soon. I bring you this as part of our Eyes Wide Open and Head on the Swivel news so you can know what's coming at you, so you'll know that you got to prepare and why and how to prepare. And that's what we're going to talk about. We're going to talk about this prospect of China attacking and the fact that China might not only attack, that it's quite likely that if China attacks Taiwan, they will attack the United States. Now, I understand China wants to do this peaceably if they can, but Taiwan wants no part of that. 82% of the people in Taiwan actually want status quo. You know, they want to maintain things as they've been. That isn't exactly a full push for independence, as China says they're so against. The problem is this: Xi Jinping has said, indeed, that he wants to unify China. That's his number one thing for his administration. He said that off the bat. And therein lies the problem. If he's really going to stick to that, make good with that, then it may not look pretty. We're going to go all into that in a second. My friends, I'm going to share some stuff here, but I got to tell you, subscribe to my channel, bang up that notification bell, and click call, because I'm going to bring you a lot more of this. So let's get some shares here. Let's look at some of these things. You know what? Before we go into share, I'm just going to talk for you a second. Just talk for a second. Hang on, guys. What does it really boil down to? I've talked to you before. I've told you that the Chinese demographic, the population is dropping. It's not just a one-child policy. They had a big thing to start it, but most of the Chinese people moved into the cities real fast. China went from an agrarian economy to a rapidly developed, full-blown modern industrial economy in one generation. What took several generations in many other industrial countries happened in one generation there. And when you're on the farm, you know, kids are extra labor. Having a lot of kids are good because they help you bring in the crops and do work. But when you're in the city, kids are expensive. They are hard to maintain. It's very expensive. So urban families have far less children, and their population was certainly headed into the city. They had the one-child policy, and they're not even having one child. And to make it even more complicated, a lot of the factories, you know, where they're putting a lot of people in basically like dormitories, barracks. They didn't want a bunch of guys because you put 10 guys in place and one of them's going to be taking somebody's head off in a matter of weeks, whereas women can cohabitate a lot more peaceably for some reason. So they tend to like to pull women into these things, which provides further separation between the men and the women. Not to mention the fact that the demographic in China is such that there's more men than women. So there's just not enough women to go around. So there's all kind of things. And then with the economic stresses that's happening in China today, the people just aren't in the mood of reproducing. It's going to be 40 years at best before China might possibly have a population of adults big enough to actually be formidable again here after the end of this decade. So what are we talking about? What are we saying of this? This decade is probably the last best chance for China to make its move. And they know this. It's the last best chance. This is why a lot of the policy analysts have been saying 2027 was when they thought that China would make its move by 2027. Well, they may have to make it sooner because the Chinese economy is beginning to collapse. How much longer can China maintain its fleet, its navy, all the forces it maintains, because it's expensive. You got to bear in mind that Chinese labor now is much more expensive than it was. In fact, Chinese labor rates have gone up about 16 times. And in fact, in the last several years, and in fact, it's actually because of the price of energy. It all has to be imported into China, and everything we got is imported in, and all the shipping and the labor. When you start piling it all together, it's actually cheaper now to produce in the United States. And Mexico, of course, would help out with some of that. Mexico would make the cheaper stuff. The United States would make the higher end stuff. You could actually produce here in North America and the United States cheaper than China. But we moved all our industrial stuff where it takes a while and money to invest to rebuild that here. And our demographic is reaching a point that we're losing. See, the problem is it's the people that are in the 50s, 60s, maybe some of the late 40s, with the people, the children have already grown up. These are the people that invest. These are people looking to invest to get ready for the time when they all move in retirement. You got less investment money to develop capital, to develop automation and robotics, which everybody thinks will be the saving grace of America. Maybe not, because the investment money is about to retire and become let's live on it money. So this is what's happened in China in part, but also their demographics are far worse than the United States. Our demographics are actually fairly stable. China is not. China has got a population. If population curves run like this, we got at least the top. China looks like this. It's bottom upside down, and so China is about to hit the ground. The top's going to flip over. So, and furthermore, China may have the largest navy in the world, ship-wise, but a lot of that navy is going to be hitting 30 years old at the end of this decade, and China's got to figure out whether they're going to replace it or refurbish it or what they're going to do. Well, at that point, they're going to be falling off the cliff economically, if not already before then. So China's, if they're going to do something, I said if, then they got to move and they got to move fast. Well, Taiwan's no part of it because they saw what happened in Hong Kong. They saw that China may make a deal with it. They may make a treaty. China made a treaty and said that they wouldn't touch Hong Kong politically until it had been 50 years into the making. If they weren't going to go in and impose their will, they let China live two systems, one country, two systems was the idea. We see how that worked. China went in and with a sledgehammer and basically took over Hong Kong. And so people in Hong Kong are still trying to get out. If communism were so popular, then why didn't people in Hong Kong say, oh, come in. Why didn't Taiwan, Taiwanese people just begging for China to take them over? It's not happening because they don't want no part of it. They know better. So what's happening again here is that the demographics are such, the finances are such, China's got at least three major financial hurdles that's causing a collapse. You remember Evergrande? It's across the entire structure of their. Hey, I'll check the chat here in a minute, guys. Let me kind of get through some of this. I know we got people coming in the room. I want to update it so I can see this over here. The whole demographic of China is upside down, guys. It is. Oh yeah, let's get back to the financial part. Excuse me, I'm sitting there trying to bring my screen up over here where I can watch your chat over here because I'm. Oh, come on! What's it taking so long for? Anyway. I want to load. Here we go. I'll make sure the sound is off too. Good. Hey, we got people in room 65 watching. Very good. So what's happening, guys, is this. The Evergrande, 30% of the GDP of China is tied up in real estate. Well, they over-speculated it out the wazoo beyond belief. And people there in China, look, the major 75% of the investment money in China, right here we invest in our industry and this and that. Well, there it's in their homes. And the home values of some come going down. And what's happened also, this is far worse than what we had in 2008, far worse. And what's furthermore, the scary thing is that a lot of people in China have been buying homes that aren't even built yet, paying for them and making payments on them with assurance they're going to be built. A lot of those homes are never going to be built. And a lot of these Chinese people are wanting to default on their loans, far bigger than what was happening in 2008 right here. Oh yeah, we got a similar thing coming back at us again. It's thought that we're going to have a lot of defaults, but it's not near as bad as what's happening in China. China's also got their run on their banking system. That's another thing that's hitting them. Their banking system has lost the trust of the people because they were involved in Ponzi schemes and people can't get their money out. So there's been a run on banks. There's been protest over that. And in China, it's hard to protest. And so this just shows the level of angst in China. Remember, as big as China's military is, they spend twice as much on internal security. So they might be worried about us, but they're more worried about their own people. Oh, that sounds familiar, don't it? Oh, yeah, IRS. Wow, 80 battalions of IRS troops. That's what they're coming up with. But anyway, we'll talk about that later. Wow. So, think about it, guys. And China is not really a fun place. And we had a lot of growth. It looked good there for a bit, but the fun and games is over. Their cost, their demographics, and here's the other thing. Their labor cost in China is going to go up because they're about to have a huge labor shortage. It is going to go, wow. But you got to realize something. It don't really help the Chinese people because we're in America, the GDP per person is like 6 to 7 times better than it is in China. So we're still more productive. believe it or not. That's kind of hard to believe. In any event, we are more prosperous. You go to China, you know, the average people over there still living in poverty by our standards and average. And if you go out in the rural communities, it's pretty rough out there. But in like rural communities here, people are doing pretty good. But up there, nope, nope, nope. Anyway, so China's in a pickle. And Xi Jinping is going up for the 20th Party Congress, and he's trying to get elected for an unprecedented third term. And he got swooped in. But his number one thing again was pulling Taiwan. Oh yeah, I almost forgot what was the third thing. Oh yeah, all the you know, China lives on exports for another big part of their GDP. But Xi Jinping's zero cerveza bug policy means they shut down entire industries over and over and over, and they're still shutting them down. And he's going to keep this up because that's his policy, and he can't lose face by saying it's not a good policy. So he just keeps doing it and keeps doing it, kind of like liberal states in the West, you know, like what was going on in Australia for a while. I understand they got over what's going on in Canada and places like that, you know, how they just, you know, shut things down. Yeah, the blue states in the United States, oh, shut everything down, shut all the business down. They tried to do it across the whole country, but states and people in the red states got tired of that real fast. And you know what really happened? We're no worse off. Are we? I mean, is it all really necessary? See, here's the thing. Xi Jinping has shot all the messengers so many times in his country. Nobody's going to bring him any news. They don't want to tell him nothing because you know your chances are you might get separated between your body and your head over there, or you might get you might get an implant of mineral fortifications to your head of some real heavy minerals that might help you think for a split second before you go splatter, if you know what I mean. So the Chinese are in a pickle, and it's getting worse. And so the leadership of the CCP know they got a limited time. It's kind of like the devil went down to Georgia looking for soul to steal. He was buying because he was behind and ready to make a deal. Well, this ain't a deal that we want no part of in this case. So China is got a short window, a short period of time to do something if they're going to do it. And Xi Jinping has said it's his number one thing. Number one thing. So I think they may try to encircle China first. I mean, Taiwan. Taiwan's China too, but it's the Republic of China, the original government of China that preceded the rebellion of the the insurgency of the People's Republic of China. So it was never a breakaway state, never part of the People's Republic of China. And in fact, it was the Republic of China that petitioned the UN and the Western powers to have Japan turn over the island of Formosa, that we know as Taiwan, to China right at the end of World War II. So basically, they got their own island that they had asked for. So imagine that. It had been in Japan's hands since the 1895. And the first Sino-Japan War, I believe. So much prior to World War II. So the funny thing is, oh yeah, in the Republic of China, the government of Taiwan, that's her proper name, has been in existence since 1912, since they overthrew the Qing dynasty. It's spelled Q-I-N, that's right. But anyway, you know what I mean. Qing dynasty. So Q-I-N-G, something like that. Anyway, I'm not looking at it. I'm just trying to remember. So, guys, the thing is that they've got a lot of pressure. If they're going to do it, they want to do it sooner rather than later because they won't be able to do it later. Now, if we can just hold them off and won't make that move, if we can make it not worth them jumping on us, and I say us, I'm going to explain that in a minute. If we can make it not worth it, it's quite possible that China will defer it long enough, and then after, you know, that, well, hey, what we got to, our stated goal is to do it by 2049, our 100th anniversary of the CCP. So if they could say, you know, keep holding on to that, and by the time it gets to the point they can't do it, then maybe nobody in China will care because they just want to take care of the old folks. And that'll be their number one job. They have so many old retired people just taking care of them will be a major job because there ain't gonna be many young people take care of all these old people. So it's going to be a and the cost of labor is going to be sky high. China's going to implode. There's no way that they can continue as they're doing today. Doesn't mean it can't become a hermit kingdom like North Korea, which is people living in utter poverty, yet they got nuke weapons and all kind of stuff. You know, they're kind of like Spartacus. You know, the Spartans had nothing but military. They didn't believe in doing anything except military. It was all military. That's kind of where North Korea is. Maybe that's the way China will become. But I don't think that's what the Chinese people want. They've had a taste of modern life, just a taste of it. You know, it might have worked for Mao Zedong, but is it really going to work for Xi Jinping? When's the wheels fall off the train? What's going to happen? If we can just hold off war. But I believe in peace through strength. Because we're on the verge of tempting them. We're on the verge of being tempting them to take what they want. Here's the thing. It's already been suggested by analysts and intelligence people that the first thing China would do if they strike Taiwan is hit the United States. Even if we don't plan to intend to defend Taiwan, they don't know. Even our ambiguity, which hasn't been too ambiguous, thanks to Joe B. Saying that, yeah, we would defend China. He said it 3 times. Taiwan is China too, you know, by the way. Saying that 3 times, really, and you know, all the delegations we send there has got China really thinking we might do it. Of course, on the backside, I really wonder if we're doing this to help prop up the CCP, because they need an external enemy right now, because their country's falling apart inside. So being a point to us might give them some more breathing room. So maybe that's why our party is doing this stuff. But then maybe, hey, I'm just a wild speculation. What do you think about it? Just tell me in the chat and the notes below. So, and I'll come here and I want to read these. I'm going to read this stuff. I'm going to catch up with your chat. In fact, I probably should go to the top now. I just realized that just some of this chat disappears. Brenda Hines, hey, Catherine, hey, Oak Tree, morning. New Days, Wise Al, Misty Dragon, Jesse Mills from Arizona. Wild Animal, the sooner the better. You mean the sooner the war, the better? In a sense, if it happened today instead of 2 years from now, if it's got to be, then China is not as armed as they would be. But we've not hardened our power grid. So here's why it's tempting. Here's why they might move in and do something now. It's because we haven't prepared our side as well. And there's a huge advantage to whoever does the first strike. And in fact, as I've suggested in several videos, and as you've heard from Dr. Peter Vincent Pry, as you've heard from David Pine on my channel many times, that if China's strategy, and they've already said this, they're already telling me this is why their intelligence believes this. They believe they can take down just about everything we got just by hacking it. In some cases, they got probably control mechanisms straight in our power grid today. Thank you, Joe B. Because Mr. T, President T, had passed a executive order saying, oh, you can't have Chinese components in our critical power infrastructure. And on day 1 in office, President Joe B just wrote an executive order, swept it aside. Day 1. Why? For Pete's sake, that's the craziest thing in the world. Because there's a large transformer that comes from China and set in International Laboratories, and the reports I'm hearing says it's got cell phone technology built into the control circuits. Wow, guys, it's crazy. So that ain't just hacking. That's direct access. That's finger on the button. Let's shatter it. Let's fry this thing. Let's make this thing overload and cause cascading failures to even fry transformers that's not part of our system. Wow. So, you know, talk about hacking. Well, perhaps they believe they can hack our entire communication system. They got anti-satellite systems to take out the ComSats in space. So I've mentioned this before. Their mode would be probably to EMP the United States. They probably got some sleeper cells, or they'd use Iranian sleeper cells to directly attack which already exist, to directly attack our power grid components here in the United States, substations. So they would hack, attack, and EMP. Now, if they do all that, and maybe take some at night, we can't communicate with our forces, or even if the EMP is spaced over the battlefield over there, all these advanced weapons we got, door weights, paperweights, anchors. What are you going to do with them? control system. We got some of the finest equipment in the world, but it relies on some very sophisticated electronics. Now, they try to build this stuff mill hard, but it's getting harder and harder to do the more advanced electronics. They get smaller and smaller. So even if our weapon systems work, the comms aren't working. What gives us the huge advantage is data fusion, to be able to do combined arms exercises, combined arms attacks. That's what America specializes in. That's what the Russians can't do, that we can do superbly under normal circumstances, but we will have that taken away from us in that kind of an occasion. So if they hit our force, see, who would respond to them if they hit Taiwan? Our forces in Okinawa, Guam, South Korea, Japan. We got a lot of forces in these areas. These are all in range of their DF-26 missile, Dongfang 26. The DF-17s, the DF-21s are a little closer in, but the Dongfang 26 is called the Guam killer. The Dongfang 17 hypersonic weapon and the Dongfang 21 are known as aircraft carrier killers. So, and they got thousands of these things. Now, you know, again, their military is kind of like Russian military, you know, maybe worse overall, but they still got some formidable missiles and they got a lot of aircraft. Now, how well they would perform in combat, we don't know. How well their troops perform in combat directly, probably not worth a dog, to be honest, because they're all little emperors and never had any combat experience. And last time China went into combat, they fought Vietnam. And Vietnam's main troops were fighting the Cambodians, so they sent the reserve forces up, and the reserve forces kicked the Chinese army's rear ends. Good, kicked them hard. So to see a little country like Taiwan, Vietnam sending reserve forces up to kick China is pretty amazing. But that was when China was even closer to its older days of World War II, and probably had a little more experience than they got, or the Korean War, especially. Although they were, you know, some years between the two wars. But, you know, in more years, you get more separation, you get the less corporate memory there is in the military of how to fight, how to organize. And our military is full of corruption. So I can see why a lot of people think we would beat them. But if they strike us first, here's where China gets the advantage. And the only advantage they got, and the only way they could probably really win in the long run, if we play our cards right, is hit us first strike. The first strike, if they take down our comms, our power, and hit Guam, Okinawa, our military bases, and probably Japan, and Okinawa is part of Japan, it's far south of the main island group, that would be a severe blow. It would be like Pearl Harbor times many Pearl Harbor operations. How do you recover from that? What do? We got so much of our stuff there. How do we recover? We're going to talk about that in a minute. But so I'm going to, now that I've kind of set the preface to this, I'm going to go into the charts here, and I will come back into the chat session a little bit, guys. I appreciate we got 133 here. I know this is my second swivel head news today, but I actually did the last one last night. By the time I finished it, I recorded it to upload. By the time I got done, it was too late, and I was so tired I didn't feel like doing a live session, because I knew I'd be running a couple of hours if I did a live session, and I was too tired to do that last night. So I posted it today. Yeah, the hardware store video, Looter's Hardware, the store is actually over 100 years old. The family that's had it's had it for like 94 years, but they're going out of business. And it's a beautiful little hardware store, guys. I hate seeing stuff like that happen. So I keep telling you, support your local businesses. Okay, let's go in to the charts, because I just want to put all this preface out here. And I'm going to also go to, we're going to look at some articles, and we're going to go look at Google Earth again, and just kind of talk about how America would need to position itself, what we need to do. Should one, we try to prepare ourselves to deter China from wanting to attack, and two, should we actually get in a war with China? Of course, my friend David Pine says we just ought to just come right out and say to China, hey, Taiwan, it's yours. This is the red line. You stop there, and we won't do nothing. But if you go beyond there, it's full on, buddy. So is that acceptable? That's a hard thing. As I told him, that's a hard thing to swallow when we talked about that. I can see that argument, but on the other hand, that would be rough on Taiwan, and it would have a lot of rough ramifications. Blue shirts highlight your eyes. So, well, thank you, Judy. Yeah, sometimes I do like to wear blue because my eyes are true blue. Anyway, so and it surprised me sitting back so far you can see it. One of the reasons I like blue. But you know, hey, I'm green too. Green and blue. I always like green. I always like blue. Two of my favorite colors. The colors of the sky and the water and the forest. I mean, holy smoke, guys, it's hard to beat that. All right, let me do the share here. Ding, 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 ding. What am I looking at? All right, here we are. Oh, why didn't I want to start a National Party Congress? Let me see. Yeah, there is. There is a National Party Congress coming up. I think I want to go over here though. So here's some things I've taught you about. I just want to show you that there are articles. I'm not making all this stuff up. And there's far more articles and analysis than what I'm showing you here. I just brought some things real fast. Beijing's window to attack Taiwan comes sooner than plans to rebuild the U.S. Navy. Our Navy is on a long, that's another reason I may want to do it sooner. Think about AUKUS, you know, the treaty we got with Australia. They don't get us nuclear power subs until 2030. A lot of our Navy buildup is, you know, about the same time frame. You know, in fact, our ship, as the Chinese fleet has increased, ours has actually decreased. And so there is a real window here, but it may be sooner than even this article suggests. It may be sooner than this article here suggests. So just bear in mind that I'm not going to flip through the article itself. This is what we're facing. Oh yeah, guys, if you want to prep, this is really time to consider. I always said go buy the beans and rice. Don't say I never said that. And I got tons of videos telling you how to eat free from the weeds and the trees. Can't, you want to talk about price, you can't beat free. But hey, you're not going to get the carbs you need from the weeds and the trees. And sometimes you just need food, plenty of it, sitting ready to go. And right now, the best deal since 2019 at prepwithgreg.com. Prepwithgreg.com. The best deal since 2019, my friends. They have now $250 off a 3-month supply. It's 6 of these buckets with each one 2 weeks supply of food, 2,000 calories a day, breakfast over 2,000, last over 25 years, 21 varieties, breakfast, lunch, and dinner. A deal to make you a winner. They also got desserts and drinks in here. So guys, this works out. You Greg, that's a lot of money. Well, go buy groceries for 3 months and see what it costs you. See if you can buy, who can buy groceries for even a fraction of that. This might not be what you'd want to eat necessarily every day, but this is real food, guys. It is real food. So, and it's got 21 varieties. Considering how long it lasts, what you can do with it. This is a deal. How portable it is, how lightweight, how you can bury it, how you can bug out with it real easy. This is a good deal. And it's only about $2.57 a meal. Everybody's always telling me it's too expensive. I don't hear that anymore. Or if you just can't do that, if you can buy a 4-week supply, you can get $50 off. And, you know, it's not as good a deal as one above, but it's close. It's still a good deal. But hey, if you can't afford any of that, just buy an extra can of beans every time you go to the grocery store. Buy an extra can. You know, canned beans are a little, you know, not as good as the dried beans for long-term storage. But hey, well, cans last a pretty good time. Still out of my price range. Sorry about that, Rochelle. But, you know, you spend that money. You'll spend, this is 2 weeks. You'll spend that month. This is, excuse me, a month. You'll spend that money in a month. You'll spend more than that, I'm sure. You know, you just got to adjust your spending a little bit. But, you know, hey, like I said, go buy the beans, go buy the rice, buy a can at a time if that's what you can do. Do whatever it takes to get ready, guys. I mean, it's not for everybody. And I'm not saying it is, and never said it was. And I've always told you to buy the dry beans, rice, and I've always said the weeds and trees are free. So, and I got videos on how to do that, by the way. So, all right, China's colonial ambition. So, you know, China's got a lot of ambition. They're going into Pakistan, these other places to protect economic interests of who? China. So, and again, here's this 20th Party of Congress. You can look this up on Wikipedia, guys. This is in November, same time as our midterm elections. Isn't that funny? This is their 20th National Party Congress, November. Check that out. I'm trying to that's tabs again. Now, this is the anti-access aerial denial maps of China. We're going to go to, we're about to go to, yeah, what do you call it? Google Earth here in a minute. I'll blow this up. Don't look like it. A2AD. It's anti-access aerial denial. This is they got various bubbles here of the different ranges of their missiles. Now the Dongfang can reach all the way out to here, but how accurate it can hit a moving target that distance, probably not so much. So our aircraft carriers can probably operate fairly safely here, but fixed targets like Guam will not be safe. Aircraft carriers might even get in a lot closer. They are developing anti-missile weapon systems, but you know, and since they're mobile, how far can these guys really target a mobile platform? I don't know. How good are their electronics or avionics on those systems? That's a really good question. We do not know that yet. Can their hypersonics really be that maneuverable? You know, I don't know. How well can they detect stuff when they're flying through that plasma sheath that you're going to have around a hypersonic weapon? All right, I think it's a good time to go to Google. I'll do one more. I will do a couple more. Look here. Why does people not want to be part of China? Well, look here. No jury, no look. If you're charged with being committing a crime in China, chances are you're going to be found guilty. And a lot of these charges are political in nature. All right, and also China's getting, so we have a real danger of war, guys, because these intercepts between Chinese and American airplanes between China and Taiwan, they're creating more and more potential for mishap, misjudgment, things that might actually start a war. Okay, now we're going to go to Google Earth. I'm going to stop that share. Hello. How's everybody doing? $250 a month or $7 a day for meals. No, it's not. Shut up and take my money. Oh, Lord. You spend $287, it sounds. Yeah. Hey, I spend that much on a week's groceries over here at Publix next door. Jeez. I spend more than that. So, yeah. But look, some people just don't have that much money sitting. I understand those shows. Some people just don't have that much in their pocket at one time. So, yeah, garden. If you got a garden, hey, I got videos on gardening. I sell worms for you guys that are gardening. So you won't have to go buy fertilizers and all this stuff. Because if the grid goes down, you're not going to store to buy nothing. You better save your seeds. You better have heirloom seeds. You can check my links to True Leaf Market. You better have heirloom seeds because if you got all this hybrid stuff and you're planting, you're not going to get the same stuff back. You're going to get some pretty junky veggies back. So I highly encourage you to buy the non-GMO, non-hybrid seeds like you'll find at True Leaf Market. I highly encourage you to, hey, I'm selling worms right now. And if you put in an order before midnight Friday night, I will ship them out Monday. But after Friday night, for the following week, please don't buy worms because I've got to be sitting on console to launch the Space Launch System. So the Artemis 1 rocket. So let's go over to Dr. G-Man, guilty and proven innocent. That is the way China operates. Oh yeah, and one of the reasons that people don't want to talk to Xi Jinping is he gets people under anti-corruption. Anytime that he wants to arrest somebody, just accuse them of corruption. You know, we got like about here in the United States, and this is what we got to worry about. Thank you for the worms. Hey, Tammy Carver ordered worms for me, and she got them. Thank you, Tammy, for the order. She did order worms. Tammy, tell everybody about your worms in here. So yeah, if you're growing worms, you're making your own. You don't need to buy fertilizer. You can brew worm tea. Worm tea is an all natural. I got videos on how to do that. Worm tea is an all natural liquid pest repellent and fertilizer, but the compost is a pest repellent. And healthy plants are really your best defense against bugs. Bugs don't eat healthy plants, guys. You got to understand, if the bugs are eating your plants, it's got a problem. But you know, hey, I'd rather go out there every day and pick through my tomatoes and get the hornworms out, stuff like that, than spray junk on them. If you can get some bacteria thermogenesis and put it in your worm tea, it makes it even better. North Shore here. Yay, North Shore. Hey, North Shore, good to see you. We were worried about you, buddy. How you doing, buddy? North Shore. Wow. Yeah, we hadn't heard from North Shore in a while. We were starting to really worry. I paid $3.85 for an off-brand bleach that used to be 99 cents. I know. Holy smoke. Stuff has gone up. Oh my gosh. Some of these prices are just mind-boggling. Tammy Carver, they were great. Mellow and come well packaged. That's right. See, that's one of the things I've done by breeding my own worms over the last 2 years. I got rid of a lot of the more skittery ones. I thought my worm beds got infected with some blue worms, and there's still some in there, but the ones that would skedaddle have skedaddled. So that's why I got a far better mix of worms, guys. These worms have survived 2 winters in Alabama, here, North Alabama, almost Tennessee. Worm tea is a fantastic for your garden. I don't recommend drinking it though. Tastes terrible. Hey, I got to tell you what, you got to put a little glass salt around the rim and throw in a wedge of lime and, or a lemon, a chunk of ice. Not. Hey, it'll either make you, what I always tell people, you remember watching my old farmers markets videos, it'll either make you grow or make you go. And I don't know where to make you go. Okay, guys. Yeah, I get a lot of jokes out of worm tea. A loaf of bread for a day's wages. Yeah, it's in the Bible, right? Hit that button, folks. Yeah. Hey, North Shore, I'm so glad to see you here. He says, I'm good, Mr. Greg. Thank you. Love to see you. Yeah, we have word about you, North Shore. We hadn't heard from you in a while. Now, guys, if you don't know, if this is your first time watching my videos, my channel, we're a family on here. We get a lot of the same people coming in our chat groups, watching the videos, and guys, we're a big family, believe it or not. And we keep up with each other. Nikki King, dehydrating all meat, fruits and vegetables, eggs, herds, etc., turning it all into a powder. Well, that's one way to keep it a long time. That is one way to keep it a long time. Now the stuff from prepgreg.com comes from my Patriot Supply, and unlike a lot of the other suppliers, they still have inventory. They still have stock, or they wouldn't be making a special like that. Yeah, they still got stock, guys. That's a cool thing. But that reconstitutes into, like, if it's noodles, you get noodles, and they look like noodles. They taste like noodles. They eat like noodles. It reconstitutes just like it was before because it's freeze dried. It's not powdered. Although, I got Kansas powdered eggs. Another older source. Love this guy and his knees. Well, thank you, R. McGrath. Hey, North Shore is a great guy too. People check out his channel. Dr. G-Man, hey, the fat worms are better. Well, feed them some rabbit poo and they'll get real fat. Any of them will. All right, guys, let's go back to sharing. Let's go over here and look at Google Earth. Let's Google the planet. I may have to make sure it's opened up. Oh, shoot. Got it too open. All right, hang on, guys. Ding, 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 ding. Share screen. Ding, ding. I gotta pull that over where we can see it. There we go. Blow it up. All right, guys. Here is the area in question. See that little red dot right there? That's Guam. Now you saw the anti-aerial, anti-access air denial maps. They had a circle that went out to Taiwan, and another circle out here, and another circle that went right about here. Well, the Dongfeng, well, basically they can cover this entire area with these missiles, and they got a whole branch in the military called the rocket forces. Now, the thing about those guys is they don't have to put troops directly in harm's way. And so they don't have to be, the kind of soldiers that would fight in combat necessarily hand to hand. All that may visit them and people start shooting back. Taiwan, and it has missiles too, and they've targeted some of those sites. The most of the missiles will be trying to stop landing craft coming across the Taiwan Strait and aircraft trying to hit them. Hopefully they got some anti-missile defenses too. They need to beef up on that. Guam is all the way here. This is American territory. But the problem is, it's an unsinkable aircraft carrier, but what's on the surface of it can be blasted pretty heavily with a good barrage of DF-26 missiles. This is why Guam needs more THAAD missiles, more Aegis. That would take care of it. And of course, the kind of a solid rocket booster concept I've talked about here a few times with a drone swarm of other interceptors would really take care of that business. Now, actually, that shouldn't take that long to develop, because I've actually talked about using already existing systems to do that. You just need to have the integration software. You probably fill that stuff in a couple of years, which might be exactly when we need it. I don't know. Of course, all this stuff can go down a lot faster. As I said, I would expect first China to try to blockade Taiwan. Definitely the exercises they just conducted are an exercise in that kind of operation. Now, why I'm showing you this is this. We got forces here. We got forces in Okinawa, which is about here. All these forces could come in and defend Taiwan if they so chose. So could American bases up here and South Korea. That's why they're going to be targeted probably. And if China strikes them first, it's going to be like several Pearl Harbors. But our ability to respond, if our grid's down, our comms down, is going to be essentially nothing. And then China could threaten nukes, and our nukes are probably not going to work at all because we've lost our system of communicating with the EAMs, which are required to launch any and all of our nukes. Now, you have to have an EAM and then a verification of the EAM. We won't be able to get either one out. So our systems are wired not to function without that. We need some other approach. Russia has a dead hand switch. If certain conditions exist, everything in Russia gets launched. So we need some backup logic that would enable us to fight if we lose all our comms. We need backup systems. And then what our weapon systems even work if they did a theater EMP over here? So they probably did some distance away from mainland China, so it wouldn't affect them. So what do we have if we lose all our forces here, guys? I mean, hey, we could take the David Pine approach and just say, no, we're not going to go in. Marigolds, yeah, they definitely keep the smaller bugs out. I use tobacco tea, but stop. Yeah, tobacco, you don't want the tobacco on your any nightshade plant like tomatoes. Don't let any tobacco products around your tomatoes, guys, because you got the tobacco mosaic virus, which can wipe them out. Now, garlic, yeah, you're right, Judy. Garlic, onions, hot pepper. Take hot pepper and grind it up and spray it on your plants. That's another thing to help with the bugs. And here's the funny one: bug juice. Bugs kind of panic when they smell ground up bugs. It means to them that's a huge danger signal. Come on out here. So if you take a bunch of bugs and grind them up, then filter, like in a blender, not a blender you make your dinner in or your smoothies with, but just have some old junk blender, grind up a bunch of bugs, and then you might take you can't put that into your sprayer, but you could take and run water through and run through some coffee filters and make you a solution that smells like ground up bugs and spray that on your plants. I don't know if I want to spray it on the fruit I eat, just like worm tea, but on the leaves of plants and other stems, yeah, that might help. Throw in some ghost peppers, in a blend mix. That might just do the trick. Ghost peppers, a little garlic. Yeah, that's one reason I like growing garlic. The deer don't bother it. Nothing bothers my garlic. So I can grow that in the back without any sweat. Okay, guys, there is another option. So far, what's our backups? We're starting to put some troops down here in Australia. That's fairly close, but still a good distance. That's probably the next closest thing available to us. Alaska's a good distance away, and so is Hawaii. We do have two closer bases that we could work from, though. Midway is one. Let me just show y'all Midway. I'm flying into Guam here. I didn't tell it to do that. Guam's got a whole lot of U.S. troops there, and it's got, Air Force and naval bases. Hang on, I'll just get lost on Midway Atoll. Okay, let's go to Midway, guys. Midway is closer than Hawaii, but at the same hotspot under it creates the islands. And Hawaii also created these much longer ago, and all that's left is some little atolls on top of ancient volcanic mounts. But we got some really good airfields here. Really nice airfield. This airfield is big enough. So the key thing about an airfield is you want it to be about 7,000. It's the wrong thing. You want it to be about 7,000 feet. So I don't know if y'all can see when I click the measurement stuff in here. Good military airfield needs to be about 7,000 feet. And if I measure here what I get, it's going to be 7,476. I'm not sure if that little gray area is part of the airfield. It might be a little bit shorter, but they got over 7,000 feet there. I'll look over here live stream to see if it shows. Yeah, okay, it's showing what I'm doing. Very good. Okay, so I'm gonna kill that out. And there's also some other islands here that could be built up. The Eastern Island. And yeah, that's Midway. And we had a battle in Midway once upon a time. There's some other atolls in the area. It's a whole chain of islands here, really. Atolls, kind of like the Hawaiian. This is the, what you might say, the older Hawaiian chain, but they're not as well developed as this island right here. It's just got more land. There we go. Here's a Cure Atoll. Yeah, there's a little runway there. Don't have as much surface, and it's a shorter runway. So let's go now, but that's still a fair distance from China. So if we wanted to have backup forces to stage to take care of, say we didn't even want to attack China, we want to take care of and provide emergency relief to our folks in Guam that got hit. So that's still pretty much close. It's a long way across here. That's still pretty much close to hit the wrong thing again. Let's see, go here to the main island, big island that is. There's much miles, so almost 8 million feet. That's 1,514 miles right there, guys. So it's about, well, of course, you got some cosine product because it's not straight east, it's partly north. So that would be reduced by the cosine of the angle between here and here. So that would be, what do you call it? That would be a little over 1,000 miles closer to China, but still a long way. So to go from there to Guangdong. I'll draw a map here. Distance from Guangdong over here to Midway. You see it's curved? It's got to be curved because Earth's curved, guys. And that is 4,246 miles. Still a long way, twice as far as going across the continental United States. So that's about an 8-hour flight time for a passenger jet or cargo jet. But, you know, even our combat jets can't make it that far without refueling. And that island's probably not big enough to put too many of those on unless we want to do the Japanese trick and destroy the local environment and build up a bunch of false islands. I got another approach that I'll talk about in a minute. That I think now's, well, no, we're going to look at one more before we discuss this. All right, so there is also, this is what we ought to beef up supplies at right now, Midway, and then there's Kwajalein, K-A-W-J. Oh, right, W-J. Watch. Oh, K-W-A-J. Yeah, Kwajalein Atoll. There we go. Kwaj is closer. A little bit. This is where when we fire missiles from intercontinental ballistic missiles and we want to do an intercept, we fire the missiles from Vandenberg Air Force Base in California, and the interceptors are fired out of Kwajalein and they meet each other over the Pacific Ocean. So this is our anti-ballistic missile test state. So why don't we just put some real anti-ballistic missiles here? So Kwajalein Atoll has got a couple different sides to it here, where they actually got some decent bases here. Quite a military base there. We could beef this up, put more supplies out here, maybe even have supply ships offshore. If we come up here, we'll find the other, there's another island up here on the north side. It's built up some, yeah, right here. So we got some good size airfields here at Kwaj, guys. And there's a whole lot more room to build up over here than there's the other side. So we could beef up our defenses at Kwaj quite a bit. And that would really help us with what I'm talking about. And again, guys, I'm talking deterrence. I'm not talking about, or maybe what you do, triage after a war. I mean, holy smoke, we're after it already gets started. How come they don't want to let their measurements? 24 miles, that's not as big. I don't think it really did what I was trying to get it to do. Let's try this again. This don't have as much room for big. Oh, cancel. Let's see what's going on. Wrong app here. All right, let's try this again. Yeah, this airfield just isn't as long as the one in the south. The one in the south is about a 7,000 foot airfield. This is 4,488. You can still get a lot of aircraft in here, but it won't be the great big heavy jets you can put down in the southern island. So, and maybe you could put a new airfield across this way. Why they just put it over here? You can get more room. If you came out here, maybe have, you know, how airfields cross each other. Cross it this way. I'm sure they can find some way to get another airfield in here if they need to. We really need to beef up quads and use it as a military center if we're going to try to support operations with Guam, places. See, we got over here too. Quad just got a lot of resources, guys. Quad just got a lot of, these are not so developed islands here, but we actually fire missiles from quads, interceptors. Now, to get an idea, quads are still a long way, though, unfortunately. It's closer. It's closer to Guam. Unselected Guam. I don't know if I can find it on this scale. There we go. Quads to Guam. If you wanted to send in forces to Guam to rescue them, to take care of them for triage after they get attacked, then you've got, okay, I don't want to be in feet, 8,400,000 feet. Let's go miles. That's 1,592 miles. And it's kind of like probably from where I live to El Paso. So that's not so bad. So it's getting you closer. So let's cancel this out. Now let's look from quads to Guangdong. So you really want to take on China directly. So to go from quads to Guangdong, hang on guys, this is not the ultimate. I'm going to throw I'm going to throw a whole new idea up there. I'm going to throw an idea nobody's even heard of. 3,688 miles. Guys, our fighters don't go that far. With the refueling out here, we might be able to refuel. Well, we'll probably take a couple refillings if you want to send fighter jets over. Bombers could make it, fighter jets no. So yeah, it would be hard to support operations that far out. But I got another idea. So think about this. The largest oil tanker ever built was made in Japan. It was 1,500 feet long. If you took 10 of those and set them up where you got 2 rows of them, 5 per row, and if you modified them where they could just like dock together, don't build oil tankers, build something the same size. If you had to go to Japan, maybe Japan could build them. If you could dock them together in the sea, berth them in some fashion, then you and have 2 rows of them, you would have a like a, what do you call it when you got 2 holes in the water? Yeah, I'm getting brain lock right now, but you could actually form between them. If you could have plate throw down between them, like the extender decks or something, match up, or have flip over decks or something. If you can match them up and put a plate between them, guys, you could actually have possibly establish an airfield 7,500 feet long, right out in the blue water, just by bringing them together. See, the advantage of that is these boats could float around and they'd be hard to target. So you could maybe put 20 of them out here or more. And these would be cargo ships, so they wouldn't be as expensive as your typical military ships, except they would carry military hardware. They'd be supply ships, basically, or true arsenal ships. So if you could put a bunch of these, this is a brand new idea, guys. That's what I like doing, come up with new ideas. If you put a bunch of them out here, I mean, they could just float around, and then when need be, yeah, catamaran, there you go, Jason. They could come together and form an airfield out of nothing, out of nowhere. It would be hard to target because you'd have several of them, and they could probably form up in different ways. So you could form airfields just spontaneously out here in the mid-ocean. Then you could resupply them from quads, from Midway, from Alaska, and they could then actually perform military. They might be able to operate even in this area because the Dongfeng missiles would have a hard time targeting them because they're mobile, unlike Guam. So they could probably come in a lot closer and operate. So they could provide triage for Guam and Okinawa, anywhere hit. But if China knew we had the ability just to spontaneously form major airfields anywhere near their area of the Nile system, they would suddenly think twice and three times before they made a move. It's holy smoke! This, we could use existing systems basically. Wouldn't require a whole lot of engineering modification to blunt the ends of them and fix them when they be docked together and form a large airfield out of the middle of nowhere. It's 116 even. Thank you. So what do y'all think about this my huge dockable spontaneous catamaran in the ocean major airfield concept? These ships could carry ammo, missiles, people. They could all be in the decks below. They could you could carry them on the decks above the bigger aircraft. So they'd be not as developed as say and we can make them nuclear powered if we had to, just to keep them afloat for a long time. But or we since these things are cross ocean, even conventional fuel, just have huge fuel tanks. Takes a lot of fuel to mobilize these ships, but these are transoceanic ships, guys. So the little engineering, we could come up with ways. I would prefer that eventually make them nuclear, but we could come up with ways because nuclear navies can, they got no fuel limitation. They can move around. We could come up with ways to spontaneously form, but it takes longer to engineer and develop when you do that. We could come off right off the bat with a quick solution, just like my solid rocket booster drones interceptor swarms concepts that would make a huge difference, a huge force multiplier. I would say the first thing we should do though is build up Kwajalein and Midway and use the aircraft arsenal ship concept with the pallets with standoff weapons like the AGM-58, the long 1,000-mile range cruise missiles, because if you can fly them out here with a big cargo ship, and then fly in this area and then launch it, then you've got access to hit things. You could probably fly right up into here with those cargo ships. And then with a 1,000-mile cruise missile, they could take out targets. At first, it would probably take out the outer targets of these islands out here that China's built up. And then they could probably move in closer. So if we had to have a war with China. But you got to understand, having a defense system don't mean you have a war. The purpose of a defense system is to keep the enemy from wanting to hit you. If they think they can't win, they're not going to do it. And the only thing that gives China advantage, the only thing that gives them advantage, let me repeat this, the only thing that truly gives China advantage would be the element of surprise, a first strike against us. If we deny them of that, then they're going to have a hard time then. What's the first thing we really ought to do? Stop share. What's the first thing we really ought to do? Harden our power grid so that our country isn't vulnerable to get taken down. You need to go to freedomrestorationfoundation.org, go to the action page. It tells you how to contact your Congress critters and call them up and burn their ears up and tell them, hey, we need to do two things. We need to get a grid hardened. We need to get our comms hardened and get the Chinese crap out of our power grid. And we need to force this. We need to do it immediately, not tomorrow, not 2 years from now, not 3 years from now. We need to take action now. And because this is a critical national defense thing, given the threat of Taiwan. And we need to build up Guam, we need to put anti-missile systems in Guam. We need to build up Midway. We need to build up Quads to be able to fly these Arsenal cargo aircraft. And then, hey, you can talk about my SRB stuff and other things. And then my reformable aircraft airfields. My spontaneously formable airfields. I got to work this concept up some more, guys. I thought of this today, guys. This was one of my innovations I come up with. Hey, I'm the guy that tells you how to colonize Venus, for Pete's sake. You know, so I try to be an innovator. I try to be an inventor on grand scale. So here we go, guys. We're going to go back into some of the articles. I do not want a war with China. I do not want a war with Russia. Wars are horrible. We're on the verge of a civil war in this country. We don't want that either. Civil war is the worst kind of war you can imagine. It took us until probably the 90s to have had fatalities from all of our wars equal what we had in our so-called civil war, which is not civil. In my neck of the woods, we call it the war between the states, or some of the old timers called it the war of northern aggression, or the recent unpleasantness. That's what the real old folks once called it. Anyway, so at least in my neck of the woods. So pull my finger. Freedom Restoration Foundation, there for years. Thank you, pull my finger. So no, haven't seen Cha-Cha or Granny yet. Uh-oh. I think Granny came in to one of my earlier videos. She watched later. That's kind of funny. That's odd. She's been out today because I posted a video on Galactic Greg. So I was talking about it. We got the finally got the Space Launch System Artemis 1 on the launch pad today. And within about a week and a half, if all things go well, it's supposed to launch. And if all things go well, it'll send the Orion capsule around the moon and back to Earth. That's going to be interesting. There's a whole lot of little ancillary payloads hitchhiking on this flight that are very interesting payloads. Thank you, Days, for sharing that. Guys, if you're not subscribed to my channel, subscribe. Subscribe now. So, New Days, you may also put my greenregs.com in there so people can order worms if they're interested. Yeah, hey there. Yeah, Stan, North Shore is with us. North Shore is here tonight. North Shore, we were worried about you. Nobody had seen or heard from you. That's why we are, guys. We are family. When somebody don't show up for several weeks, we check their website out. If they're not posting, or if we know we go to their website regular, their channel, and they're not posting, we worry about them. Ring the bell. There you go. There you go, Joe. Joe, that you know. There you go. Cha-Cha is okay, says North Shore. Good to hear. Yokota Air Force Base, Japan is an air refueling wing. It would cost some B-52s. Yeah, they could hit that base. That's what we got to worry about, stuff like that. Lockheed Skunk Works. Now, Lockheed Skunk Works has been a real innovative place, guys. Question for chat. What do you do with the info Greg gives you? Take action. Seriously. There you go. Thank you. Hey, guys, I spend a lot of time and money setting up an organization to help preserve our freedoms, but it's set up the website where you can use it as an action center to do things. You can, what other prepper channel gives you the resources like that? What other prepper channel gives you that kind of resource? Show me any other organization. It's got a website that has so much details about what you can do to take action. Even political activist groups. Show me one. Show me one that actually tells you how to do these things, how to contact them, how to find the bills, how to do the research. Then we try to get action alerts up. I got a new guy who's going to be taking over, updating the website, and he's still working out some details he's had problems with, but he'll be there, guys. Ringregs.com. Thank you. If you want to order worms, check that out, guys. So, guys, who else? Now, we got Wise. Is Wise Owl here tonight? Wise Owl. So I started this movement to form tribes. Wise Owl already had a tribal group going, and she took it out of her own kindness, spent a whole lot of money building that tribe survival network. Survival Tribe Network. Go there.com. So this is two things we're bringing you guys that you, now there's some other channels that work on survival groups and survival tribes, but I'm trying to help people all over the country establish their own. And we got a local network here in our area called NARPNET. And I've even brought the guy who started NARPNET on my channel once, maybe twice, I think, Mike. So NARPNET. So, and we've talked about why you need chives. We've talked about the threat that you'll face when the grid goes down, when you know what hits the fan. The Billy Rays out there who are going to come looking for you. We've talked about that. Thank you for sharing that stuff, and appreciate that, New Days. All right, or both. Yes. What other channel brings you? Let's see. I use Greg's info to prepare mentally. Yeah, and you got to prepare mentally, guys. You got to prepare mentally. You got to prepare physically, mentally, and spiritually. Now you got a lot of channels like, hey, you know, Nate from Canadian Prep. Well, you better get in shape. You got to go out and run 20 miles, and you got to do this and you got to do that. And that's all true. And I used to do that when I was a younger man. I used to run 12 miles every other day. Fortunately, that tore my joints up. I got plantar fasciitis in my foot. I couldn't run anymore. So I started riding a bicycle. Then I ran a bicycle 20 miles every other day. Man, I was banging it. But that messed my knee up. That's when I just turned to gardening. But, you know, there's only so many weeks in an hour, right? Do what you can. Do the best you can. You know, I'm going to have to do just a video about prepping priorities. You do the best you can, guys. That's the most important thing to know. Do the best you can. But when you get older, you know, you just got to have other strategies. Like, you know, us old guys, we have to fight dirty when we fight. You know, you don't expect us to go by the Queensberry boxing rules. So yeah, no. You know, you don't have, when you're an older guy, you can't stand there and punch somebody for an hour and get punched for an hour. No, you'll run out of wind probably. You know, your stamina may not be quite as much. So you gotta end it pretty quick. You know what I mean? So Top Knot is really done fine. Yeah, Top Knot's doing great. I went and watched. I went in a live session he had for radio. So Top Knot is doing great now. Careful on the language, people. Yeah, be careful. Let's keep it clean, guys. This is a family channel. This is a family channel. Katie, thank you for all that. We got some good. That's okay. Pull my finger. We are a family channel. Pull my finger. So just be careful what you say. All right. So sometimes I gotta be careful what I say. This is a family channel, and we pray for each other here too, guys. So Wise Al, was it Wise Al that wanted to start organizing a group? She had a group of her own. I started trying to organize a tribe list. I got people sending me emails and tried to do it in Excel. And I had a pretty good spreadsheet going, but still a lot of stuff coming in. It's just so much work. And I went through, I couldn't do it all myself. I mean, I set the spreadsheet, we set the email system. I put some entries in it. Or organize some interest from other people. And I went through about 3 or 4 different volunteers to try to get this organized. It was so much work. Wise all said, no, nobody's got time for this. Let's set up a system where people can organize their own. That's how she came up with the Survival Tribe Network. It was a means where you can go in and self-organize. You see the people in your area, you can contact them, they can contact you, but don't put your real name on it. You know, come up with something like Wise Al. That's not a real name. And just like, yeah, you want to be careful. It's like New Day's Old Ways. That's not her name, but I know what her name is. I say her first name occasionally, but I'm going to throw it all in here. So, and she's quite the prepper herself up in Maine. Can't find blueberry. Hey, there's a lot of fruit. Elderberries are starting to get whiny right now. So they've just passed, most of them are past or prime in my area. But they're still edible. Figs, you got a lot of fruit out there if you want fruit. Persimmons will be coming on in about a couple months. So thank you there, North Shore. Your mom's that what how you pronounce M-A-H-M, is that mom? Jason, sorry, I meant Kadena Air Force Base, not Misawa. Okay, so let's go back into the share again. Let's go back to some other articles. We'll change topics. Give me a second. I want to kill a few screens there because I've maxed my memory out so I can bring up some other stuff. Just give me a second to do that. I have maxed memory of what this computer can sustain, article wise, loaded. So I gotta wipe out a few things. There we go. I wiped out a few things. Now let's see if that helped my memory. Watching over here on the memory thing, not as much as I needed it to. That's not good. So, you know, when you open a website and here's patient in Google, it leaves a lot of residual junk in memory. Terrible at Google. Let's see if I can open up this other stuff I want to have. Well, there's one I can close. There's another one I can close. Is that helping? No, didn't decrease memory at all. That's odd. Well, I'm gonna try to see if I can squeeze in my usual stuff. Hang on. That one might be a little memory intensive. No, not a little bit. I think we'll survive that. Let's see. Oh, Venus. USGS took me to Venus. Wow. Be a good topic for galactic grads. You know, I'm bringing up some other sites. I couldn't open them all, guys, because it was just too much. Too much. There we go. Wow, we got a lot of earthquakes on here. Holy clock and smoke-a-moly. All right, let's see here. One more. So my memory can handle. So I got to watch my memory monitor while I'm doing this. All right, I think we're good. I think we're good, guys. So we're going to hit several topics here. We're going to go back into our favorite agency, the IRS. Yeah, favorite like oh yeah, close Google. I'll help remember a little bit maybe. Yeah, that's helping some, not a lot. Okay, let's go back to share again. Ding, 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 ding. Where's my screen for that? Right here. Got so many screens open. Share screen. Ding, 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 ding. Here we go, guys. And we're back at it. I'm gonna make this large. Boom, boom. Yeah, just to kind of drive the points I've been making you guys, like in the video I did last night and posted, you know, at 6 o'clock this evening, a little after 6. Texas cattle ranchers. What happened? What got them the audit? They spent a little extra money, about $6,000 or $7,000, fixing a tractor engine. Holy smoke! I do that kind of expenditures out here, more than that, and I've not been profitable for a couple of years. I have been sinking money. In fact, I've not been profitable ever, but I will be profitable this year if things go right. But guys, I have sunk a lot of money, and in multiple years that means they may want to look at me, and I am not rich by any stretch of imagination. But I do spend it all on all my luxury vehicles. Yeah, like my Vanna White. See how luxurious that is, right? Trudeau's a total coward. Yeah, that most of them are. Most of them are, guys. That's the way it goes. Then we got this Congress critter Manchin from West Virginia. Oh, I didn't want to harass nobody. I won't let them. I'll stop them. Really? When you give them $80 billion and let them more than double in size, and you're arming them and hiring them, and they put out hiring messages talking about, or you know, you got to be willing to use force that's somewhat, shall we say, fatalistic. I'm trying to watch my way I put my words together. This guy he's blowing smoke, guys. This guy Manchin is blowing smoke. No way is that going to be the case. Manchin is blowing smoke. People need to call him and tell him that he's a liar. That's what I think. Oh yeah, and there's other agencies. It's just not the IRS. Guys, how about the EPA? Well, the EPA loves us so much, they're just trying to protect the environment. You know what they do? They also go after small people. They also shut down farms and businesses. So, you got to be careful, guys, what you going after here. Oh, I'm not even going to read this one, guys. Just read it for yourself. Some things I just don't want to say directly. But hey, even though this happened, Pfizer says it can't be this. It's not to blame. We know this caused the CCD. I mean, the CDC. They said it's all fine. FDA says it's all fine, right? It's all good. This couldn't possibly affect little children, which have just been approved to take the stuff, right? No, couldn't possibly. What do you think? 55 acres next to Wild Man. Yeah, she's got a great place. You knew, and the potatoes aren't doing good. Yeah, we got some huge food problems, guys. So what's going on in Zaporizhia? Well, the workers there have been held gunpoint. Some of them have been beaten. They're under great stress and duress. And recently, some of the shelling going back and forth between Ukraine and Russia, they both blame each other. In the end, it may not make a dinkum's difference if they damage that plant. We may all be at risk. What's really at risk? All those reactors are under 20 foot of concrete. Nothing can touch them, stuff like that. Forget about the reactors. The spent fuel rod pools are not, and they're very dangerous, and they could be compromised. Spent fuel rod pools by themselves could create Chernobyl type events. I've talked about this so many times on the channel. And what's protecting them? Sheet metal roof, nothing. And then you've got also to consider the pumps that run. Yeah, you got to have power. And they did have something hit their power switchboard there. A bomb hit the power switchboard at Zaporizhia, guys. And fortunately, they got it fixed pretty fast. But you take out the power of the plant. These plants do not generate their own power. They will operate off power grid power. There's reasons for that, load balancing and many other things. In fact, a nuclear power plant can't even start themselves up. You got to plug them in the power grid to start them up. They're not black startable. That's why you've got to have a coal-fired plant or a dam or something to start your nuke plant. Oh yeah, and by the way, the river's drying up out in Europe, they're having problems having enough cooling water to run their nuke plants in France and other places. So not only they're shutting off the Russian fuel, but their nuke plants are problematic. Oops, I didn't mean to knock this out of share here. Let's go back to share. I'll switch. Oh yeah, that's what this next article is about. Ding, ding, ding. How about that? Oops. Hang on, guys. I'm trying to manage multiple screens. Sometimes if I kick back and forth, things get knocked out. Not that one. Let's share this one. All right, guys, so we're back in share here again. Nuclear and hydropower. Well, yeah, you don't have hydropower if you don't have water. This is what we're going to be running into down in Nevada and so many places. Hey, Jesse Mills, Arizona's getting hit on the water ration out of the Colorado River. How did you see your people in your area adjusting to it? And how worried are you about power not coming out of Hoover Dam? There's a question for Jesse Mills is in the chat room, or was. So I hope to hear from Jesse on that. What do you think? Did I see? And there's Granny Atlanta. No notification. That's what she said earlier. Granny, we've been in here for better than an hour now. No, an hour and a half. She's not getting notifications. Wow. I need to pick my bone. Yeah, we've been asking, wondering what happened to you, Granny. Rochelle Papadis, I'm not sure I'm saying right. I need to stick up bone meal with artichokes. Yeah, I'll give them. Yeah, bone meal, blood meal, that's all real good stuff. Put in your gardens, guys. Do your own homework, folks. Greg, Divine, Diamond, to Israel, Smash, Blue Kool-Aid. All right, guys. So, here's another article talking about So they talk so much about the sea level rise, and these guys are claiming the sea has risen what? Well, let me go back there. I don't want to show the whole article. They claim the sea rose 7 centimeters or something like that in a century. But guys, it's 2.54 centimeters per centimeters per foot per inch. God, what's wrong with me now? I know better. It's my main measure. 2.5 centimeters per inch. So, but they're saying, oh, yeah, but in 3,400 BC, it rose 20 centimeters. Now, they had a huge increase in the sea way back then. It must have been because the Egyptian chariots were creating so much greenhouse gas. I don't know, guys. So, what is all this? These things happen. The seas go up and down. But, if what they're saying is true, why isn't the Plymouth stone, the Plymouth rock from 1620 underwater? Why is the Plymouth rock not underwater? Nothing, guys. Everybody's thinking it's going to be a shoe-in for the Republicans in midterms, but they've lost the Democrats are gaining them real fast, according to some of the polls, which may or may not be accurate. The Democrats are within within 0.1% of breaking even with them. Maybe you like the Democrats, but I tell you what, if you like IRS, if you want the IRS to get bigger and stay bigger, if you don't want to have all those agents and jackboot agencies and grow all of them, and then maybe you'll be for that. If you want to take away our right to arm bears, it might be your music, but it ain't my music. I got to say that. I'm just having an issue with that. All right, guys, let's get out of those kind of topics. We're going to talk more regular stuff. Let me close this website or two. Close some of these. Bing, bing, bing. All right. Let's go back to our normal stuff that we like to talk about on Wednesday night, now Thursday morning. Windy. Of course, this night here, most of the country's cool. Even Dallas is 86 degrees. Houston's 82. Look at that. What is it up in Maine? 60s. Quebec, 60s. Alberta, 60s. Got a little snow here. Snow in the Alaska range. Of course, there's snow up there. Fairbanks, 61. Tanana. Well, dang, the whole country's in the 60s. 80s and 60s everywhere. Barra is 35. It's still daylight up there, probably. Let's see here. Let's check out the Allen Army Airfield. Ooh, yeah, that snow's pretty close. But that's the Alaska Range, guys. Probably Mount Hayes, Mount Deborah. Those are big mountains. Delta Junction's 59. How come it's not showing me the airfield? Is it being hidden now on Google Earth? There it is. Allen Army Airfield. Ta-da! Fort Greeley. I lived here for 2 years. They got a meteorological station right here, and they're not showing the temperature. There's been a meteorological station there since the World War II, guys. Continuously since 1947. And there's never been a month go by that they haven't recorded hurricane force winds, straight line, with wind gusts of 100 miles an hour every single month. Woo, the wind don't howl, it screams up there. I know. I have seen people rolling because the wind got them, threw them over. That place is an adventure. It's like going to another planet. It is so different. Ice planet last. Look at there. San Jose is 66. This will be cool. Wow, Los Angeles is 68. Wow. Phoenix is in the 90s. 93. We got anybody in here from other countries? Anybody? Any other nationalities? You want to see your area? We've looked at Alberta. Check out Snowflake. It's supposed to get in the low 60s here tonight. Snowflake, 68. Ooh. Sholo, 64. Sholo's got a lot of big trees, beautiful area coming up into the mountains. Sholo's very picturesque. Snowflake, where I'm at, is a desert. They just got a lot of rain. Aha, Huntsville, 66 right now. Birmingham is 70. Wow, 66 in Huntsville. All right, now it's finally got 59 over here. What new days? What is it in at your house? What's the temperature? 62, 60, 62 there, 62 here, 59 over there. What's the temperature? North Shore, what's your temperature? North Shore's in Canada, if you don't know. Wow, look up here. 59, 62. So our friends up in Canada. Ottawa's at 64. That's the national capital. Toronto, 64, but just a little bit into Toronto, away from the lake, is 61. Oh, you don't have to get far away from the lake at all. 62, Mississauga. Man, there used to be I used to go to an Indian restaurant in Mississauga. I really loved it. Every time I go up there, I go to this one Indian restaurant in Mississauga. Brampton. Now, Brampton is, so they used to have the plant that built the Canadarm used to be in Toronto, but they moved it out to Brampton. This road up here called Dixie something. Where's it at? Not some of the road names yet. That's 15, 6, where's 7 at? Oh, careful, I might find the plant there. They make these things. Not on the highway, that's further up. Georgetown. You got Georgetown in Washington, D.C., right? I'm looking for 7 in Queensway. Or Dixie. Whatever they call them. Maybe they changed the name. Canadians take Dixie out of the street names up there. Oh, here we go. Our street names. It's gonna take me too long to find it this way. Sidewell Road. Yeah, I've been up there and spent a whole month at a time. 2 weeks, several times. Been in the CN Tower several times. A lot of good restaurants, guys. I used to like one called the Whalers Wharf in Toronto. I don't know if it's still there. Ring Greg, let's go east over to Bowmanville. That's where I am. Oh, shoot. Okay. Massachusetts. Just type it in. BOWANVILLEMA. Not Illinois. You gotta be kidding me. Just better type in Maine. M-A-I-N-E. Well, this application don't know you. East, right up to 401. Cha-Cha. Hey, Cha-Cha's here. All right. People were asking about you earlier, Cha-Cha. All right. Now let me zoom out a little bit just so I can kind of, I think that's the line right there. No, I'm on the wrong side. Pardon me. No wonder. Wasn't east enough. I don't know your highways there, Katie. Top fill. Danforth. She's real close to the border. I know that. She is really close to the border of New Brunswick over here, right? She's right next to Canada. There's caribou. You got any caribou up there? Y'all ever have caribou in that area? I mean, we had them in Alaska. Oh, you got moose. Hey, Dad, you got caribou? I'm here. LOL says cha-cha. We're glad to have you here, cha-cha. I was worried about you. Folks was asking about you. We are family here, guys. If y'all don't know, we are family. You Sweden. All right, that's off the top of the state. I believe she's in this area. Houghton. Sounds familiar. Monticello. Wow. Okay. I'm lost up here in Maine. I've never been up here, guys. That's ain't a good highway map. Mars Hill. Electric credits like to go up there. All right, guys, we're spending too much time on this map. I'm not getting anywhere where I want to go, I guess. Woodstock. Oh, Woodstock. I see Woodstock earlier. Fulton, Monticello. Hey, close to the border. Not that far south. Aren't you in this area? Type in Woodstock and see what it comes up with. There's Woodstock, New York. I used to sell worms to a girl that lived up there. Woodstock, M-A-I-N. Whoa, recognizes that. Okay, bing. Bing. Just give me the whole climate data of the place. Okay. Back up now and see what that looks like. Woodstock, that's in western Maine. I think about choosing eastern Maine. Okay. 0.2 inches of rain. 1.19. Okay, let's get out of that. Oops, totally wiped out the app. All right, hang on. Let's close that. All right, let's go back out and look at the general. Lee Wilbog, we have flooding in Dallas. How bad is it, Lee? Let's go down here and look at Dallas. It's like the rain has stopped. Is it raining there now? It's showing on this app. It's cooled down. You're not in the hundreds. Not even the 90s, the high 80s, though. There's Venus. How bad's the flooding, Lee? A lot of Texans are still telling me dry. This must be what got you. Was it this system? This system right here, Lee? What I like to do is kind of back out and look at the moisture rain over time here. I go to rain accumulation. Oh, wow, Mexico's getting hammered down here. That's next 3 days. That's not what you just got. That's what's coming next 12 hours. This doesn't show what you just got. So if you're already flooded, that's in the past. This is what's coming. That 24. Dallas don't need any more rain. It's already flooded. Louisiana's going to get some next 5 days. Am I getting rain? Yeah, I'm getting some rain. 10 days is what's the 10 days shows. Wow. You got more coming, Lee. A lot more. Looks like Texas is going to get wet finally. But, you know, that's what's happening. People are getting downpours, getting drenched. Cars are up to the bottoms of the windows. Ooh, rain is over, but water deep in some place. Okay, that's what this map indicates. It's moved off. Wow. Yeah, Dallas, hey, Lee, you're going to get hammered again. It ain't over, buddy. It ain't over. That's a whole lot of rain. I got a daughter who lives up in here, just north of Houston. A daughter and 2 lovely grandchildren. So, yeah, Mayor of Arizona's going to get some more. Actually, maybe not. Get some. This is Mayor, but they've already got a lot of rain. They've been flooded pretty good. All right. Well, we have a lot of rain offshore. Got some rain there around Calgary coming up. Anchorage area. Well, look, Colombia, Venezuela, Guyana. A lot of rain. Oh, we got a whole big stream of rain coming across here. Guys, if this river, and sometimes it does, this is river rain. Sometimes this stuff shifts north. In 1861, 1862, California was flooded. I mean, so much it had 10 foot of water in Sacramento. Now they're trying to blame that on global warming, but that didn't happen in the 1860s, and this can happen again, guys. So this sudden drought could get broke all at once by a major gusher. You just don't know when it's going to happen, but it eventually will. Eventually it's coming, guys. If it comes after you've been so dry so long, that stuff's going to run off. It's not going to soak in properly, but it's going to be a catastrophe in California. 4,000 people died when California didn't have hardly anybody there in 1860s. That's the known deaths. We don't know what happens. This is pretty typical to get a band like this around the tropics. Sometimes, see, that's shifted up. Sometimes they get hammered here. Now we wouldn't need any irrigation for our crops here the last several years because we've had a moist, cool summers here in Alabama. It's in the 60s right now here in August. We're in mid-August. It's down in the 60s. It'll get down to almost 60 tonight. Anybody here from Australia, from Europe? Hey guys, delete that. Delete this person. Hide them. Get rid of them. Hide them. Wipe them out. None of that. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. None of that on my channel. Hide them from the channel. Ban them. We don't want none of that mess. We are a family channel. Here, Indian Ocean's got some heavy rain. Well, India needs this. Pakistan needs it. Africa, you know, this is where the jungles are. But up here, sub-Saharan Africa, they need that rain. Southern Chile's getting rain. Still winter down here in Australia. Last several times I've checked, it's been kind of mild. Oh my gosh, they're actually warm. Of course, it's daytime there. Very mild. 55 down in Hobart. 48 down here. Very mild winter in Australia. Every time I've looked lately, I've not seen anything really super cold. Their winter is almost over. All right, guys, enough of this out. Let's look at earthquakes. There you go. Somebody report them. There you go. Look here in Southern California, Baja California area, tons of earthquakes. Now we're usually seeing earthquakes here around, you know, just north of El Paso, north or east of El Paso. Now we got one a little bit more inland in Texas. This is near Hermleigh, Texas, 2.8. We actually had an earthquake right in my area a few days ago, 2.4, I think. Hawaii's got them. Puerto Rico just has earthquakes like crazy. Hey there, New Days, look here. What is this? Centerville, Maine. I don't like it's in the center of the state. Usually Centerville is the center of the state. Centerville, Maine had a 3.0. Did you feel that, New Days? Thank you, New Days. Up here in the Brooks Range, there's an earthquake, 2.6. I can tell you it's a Brooks Range. I know that though. All right, this one is sitting on. I can now say that. Anchorage, a 3.1 in Anchorage. You get them always out here in the peninsula and Aleutian Islands, 3.1. Ivanhoe Bay, 3.5. Atka, Alaska. Juan de Fuca plate gets hammered. And it's always got a lot of places. And there's a lot usually in this area, California. I wonder if the calderas around there are waking up. Ooh, that's a big one here. 5.3, Chile. A very recent one in Japan. Red. 5.1. 61 kilometers east, northeast of Naomi, Japan. I don't know if I said that right, probably not. Indonesia had a good size here, 5.5. Oh, Timor-Leste. Is that? That is, I think, close to a volcano. Timor. Let's see here. What do you know about that, Lee? No, it's out in the ocean. Yeah, a lot of earthquakes in Indonesia, Japan. They just earthquake. You know, this whole area is earthquake central, but this whole area is waking up. A lot of earthquakes around the Ring of Fire, even in Hawaii. All the way around the Ring of Fire, guys. Lots of earthquakes right now. Maine, that's interesting. Brooks Range. All right, enough of that. Let's check out space weather. There's a good sunspot complex. That one could brew. That's Earth facing, guys. 3081. This could still get us right here, the 3878. I got that dark plasma ejection. Look at this stuff, guys. Sunspot 3078 keeps exploding. Oh, you got some intense aurora activity. That's pretty heavy. All through Alaska. If it's nighttime, if it happens to be nighttime, you stand up there, you're going to get a light show. Tons of green bells, real heavy hanging overhead. If you're in northernmost North Dakota, you might see it, or Minnesota. Comet with two tails. Comets usually do have two tails. They always have two tails. They have the magnetic and the other tail that's traveling away from the solar wind, and one from the plasma. Let's see here. Earth asteroids. Oh, we had one come in between Earth and Moon distance here. That's already passed. This is all in the past. You always get more red in the past because there's a lot of them we're just discovering when he's up past us. This one was coming by at a good clip, though. 15.2 kilometers per second. Look at this one, 35.1 kilometers per second. And that one's 125 meters. Luckily, it didn't come close to us. That one would have walked us good. The next one that's of concern here is going to be, 1.4 lunar distance. That's going to be outside the orbit of the moon. So why are they so worried about that? That might get us eventually, though. There's a lot of newly discovered asteroids. You see all these 2022s. I mean, they just found them. Actually, they passed us. That's why you got so many 2022s here. That's why you got so much red and high pink in the part of this chart that's passed. And once again, if you look at velocities, you take this one right here at 4 kilometers per second. Notice it's kind of small, 27 meters. That might be an asteroid. Look at 6 meters. That might be a chunk of a rocket there, but it's traveling pretty fast. Not too bad. If you look at this guy, the orbit will be almost like Earth's orbit. I come up here and look at orbital viewer show. Yeah, so its orbit is white, Earth's orbit is blue. What I tell you, nearly like Earth's orbit, guys. Bing, bing, bing. Hey, I know a little bit about space for some reason. Wonder why, right? Whoa, whoa, whoa! Don't blow it out completely. Come on, go back. And we're gonna find one with high velocity, 35.1 kilometers. This one is going to be more elliptical orbit. This one's going to go further out in space. It is not going to be like Earth's orbit. This will be much more elliptical. Whoa, that one's kind of weird. Yeah, look here. This one's going out to Jupiter, probably past the asteroid belts. Wow. It's also got a different inclination. That's funky. Funky, funky. Look at that. Yeah, this one's got a high inclination. That may be a remnant of a comet. It's just not in the plane of ecliptic. Why is it so far off? Does something knock it? Is it a piece of a comet, an old dead comet? That's what I'd suspect. In this inclination. Yeah, let's compare this to the orbit of Jupiter, guys. It's not quite out the orbit of Jupiter. Okay. So this one maybe could be coming out of the asteroid belt. That's the asteroid belt region. Okay, yeah, this one probably originated in the asteroid. It must have been a huge collision that knocked it real hard and gave it that angle. But this thing comes in inside the orbit of Mercury. It comes from the asteroid belt to Mercury. It zips around. Eventually, this thing will probably collide with either Mars, Earth, Venus, or Mercury. It's probably spending more time near Mercury. So, and Mercury's got a smaller orbit. So I'd say that the probability of Mercury getting hit eventually by this is higher. Ooh, it comes in close to the sun. See here. Of all the planets, it spends more time near the orbit of Mercury. Of course, it crosses all our orbits twice, though. Eventually, Mars, Earth, Venus, or Mercury are going to be in the way of this. This thing will hit one of these planets eventually. Well, given the angle, maybe not. But again, even with this angle, it's closer. Yeah, I could still do it. It's closer to Mercury. I'd say Mercury stands a good chance of getting walloped by this thing. Yeah, Earth could. Look here. It's really crossing close to Earth, too. Uh-oh. Very close to Earth, just like now. I see now. I see why this one was of interest. Yeah, all right. Mercury and Earth. Maybe even Earth might be more probable. Since it comes in so close to us. The Earth might get hit by this thing eventually. If it does, it's going to hit fast. And energy is 1/2 mass times velocity squared. The velocity component's where you get the energy. Velocity squared. It adds up in a hurry geometrically. I mean, geometrical means it's not linear. It don't go up like this. It goes up, whoop. So there we go. That's an interesting asteroid there, guys. 125 meters. That's a big one. Traveling at 35.1 kilometers each second. If you don't know how many miles that is, divide by multiply times 0.6. 35 times 0.6 will give you the miles. Wow, guys. That's an interesting asteroid. I hope we don't see that hit us no time before we get the technology to stop it. The dinosaurs that had a space program, they might have conquered the Earth and are still been here. That's what some people say, right? Anyway, stop sharing. Halo, we've done enough sharing tonight, guys. We've done enough of that. You too, says Lee. All right, let me go through the chats here. In fact, let me do it from this screen now. So I've kind of ignored the chats because I've been covering a lot of material tonight. We have gone for 2 hours already. I've covered tons of material tonight from Taiwan, China and Taiwan, why China may hit us, why China's demographics will force them to take action soon if they're going to take action. But why China's military is actually in bad shape, kind of like Russia's. But how their missile forces and the element of a surprise attack would serve them. If they're going to do something, expect a surprise attack, very much like the vision of Stacy Savicki. Okay, guys. So, what was I going to do? Yeah, I'm going to pull up the screen here with the chat sessions in it, so I can. That's what you guys are saying straight ahead, and I'll look ahead and watch. Ding, ding. Let me scroll this up, and I'll come back up as far as I can go here. Frozen World, I did. Lee, you know, I did know what conversation there. Bad thing is when I open the chat sessions, I only see back for so far. All right, that's New Days telling Lee she's reported porn site that jumped in here. Thank you, New Days. Jody, I still don't know how they're in winter when we are in summer. Seems to me not on a ball. Well, it's because the Earth has a tilt. The Earth isn't straight on. The Earth's got a tilt to it. All right, here's the sun. Comes the sun. Here's the Earth. In the winter time, summer, the northern hemisphere, hope y'all can see this, the northern hemisphere has got more sunlight. The southern hemisphere gets less as the sun is tilted toward. Actually, the funny thing is in orbit, funny thing is, we are actually further away from the sun in the winter. It's not the distance, it's the angle you face it at. But when you go around the other side of the sun is actually spherical, and it's not a flashlight. When the Earth swings around the other way, on the other side, it's still got the same angle. Earth's got the same tilt angle all the time. But when it gets around the other side, the southern hemisphere is the one facing. So it spins. It spins like this. The southern hemisphere is facing the sun more. So we get cooler, they get warmer. That's what it boils down to. That explains our seasons. Now, if the orbit was such that we were having our summer where we have our winter, I mean, if suddenly the Earth's orbit had us closer to the sun when we were having our summer because of all the landmass in the northern hemisphere, it would get really hot, really dry. We're blessed that the southern ocean is more, the southern hemisphere is more oceanic. That helps mitigate for the people in the southern hemisphere what they got to deal with in their summers. Oh, New Days did not feel the earthquake. Frozen World did. Where are you at, Frozen World? We had an earthquake here just a few days ago up in Hazel Green, New Market area, actually Hazel Green, just a few miles from me. I did not hear or feel that one. But that was like a 2.2 or 3 maybe. But we had like a 4.2 further away up in Fort Payne. And it woke me up. I was asleep about 4 o'clock in the morning. It sounded like one of the big 747 cargo jets that fly in and out of Huntsville International coming in low. They do fly on my house a lot. This one sounded like it was really low, which that's happened, but this one sounded really loud. And then I noticed the handles on my dresser going clack, 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 clack. And I go, oh, that's an earthquake. And I just, this is Alabama. Nothing to worry about. So I just turned back over and went to sleep during the earthquake, which I knew was an earthquake. The very next morning, I was still married to Lydia, my last wife. She gets up. She was from Kenya, by the way. She gets up and says, Greg, was that an earthquake heard last night? I said, yeah. I didn't check no news or knew it. I said, yeah, that was an earthquake. Of course, I had the news, turn on the TVs and the news are all yakking about it. But anyway, let's see. Randy also reporting. Very good. I reported them well. Very good, Joe. Scooby Snacks. Cha-Cha, how are you doing? Well, Susie Q. I'm looking right now. Supposed to see it in Illinois. Oh, you think you're going to see that? You might. You might. How about the Aurora? Let us know if you see it. Run outside and look. Come back and say, it's there. I see it. I see it. Earthquake was 140 miles south of me. Okay, yeah, you wouldn't feel that. Ben Monroe's GG. That was one fine looking model rocket you were showing earlier. Well, thank you, Matterman. He's talking about the video on my Galactic Greg's channel. Yeah, it wasn't mine. It's actually in building 4220 in the foyer, north foyer of the building. Main foyer is to the east, on the east side of the building. Yeah, Granny came in for a little bit. Fourth parter, hello, GG. Well, hello to you. And we hadn't seen Wazall this evening. She's probably okay. Yes, they do hit the sun. That's true. Especially comets. Comets are real bad for hitting the sun. That thing, yeah, given this orbit, yeah, it's more likely to hit Earth or Mercury, probably. Hey, Michael Sherman, how you doing? Yeah, we're up late. We're going to have to wind it down here. Do you sell bloodworms? Hard to get any joy. I got composting worms, mostly red worms with some blue worms mixed in. Hello from Chandler, Arizona. Hey, Sub-Zero, how you doing in Chandler? How are you doing? Are you still trying to get out of the monsoon? Is it still muddy? It's still wet there? I know y'all had a big monsoon for the area. How's our plants starting to really come out like crazy? Cannon jalapenos, you mean jalapenos? Jalapenos? Matterman. They do burn up first unless they hit at night. Ah, ha, ha. Funny, funny, funny. There you go. Hit the sun at night. There you go. That's when we're, yeah, I hear that's when our vice president is going to the sun. You know, the vice president's supposed to be the chair of the National Space Council, right? Lady Lee Bell, Sierra Star. Hey, yeah, where are they at? I think they're preparing for an asteroid impact. Oh, well, I ain't too worried about one right now. It could happen. Be an unknown asteroid get us, but that's not my main concern right now. We got a lot of near-term stuff. It could happen though. It could happen. We got a lot of near-term stuff to really worry about right now in the world. Of course, you got to worry to get an asteroid big enough to do enough damage in the country. They might think they got nuked and then start flinging nukes. That could happen. Earthquake was the same as this time as the EME arrival. Was it really? Same time? I don't know. That would be odd. That would be an odd one. Safe and sweet home Alabama, says Ace Lee. Sweet home Alabama. Lord, I'm coming home to you. There you go. All right. There's Granny. She's still in the room. Miss Georgia Peach, says Rochelle. Did we say Miss Georgia Peach? There she is. Hi, Miss Georgia Peach. This is Georgia. We pronounce it Georgia. Awake and aware. Hi, everyone. Sorry I'm late. I was fishing. Caught a 10-pound catfish. Well, good for you. Caught him on a worm. There you go. There you go, guys. You got to buy worms. Sub-Zero, you should do more late night videos for people like me who work late. For Sub-Zero, it's kind of hard to do when sometimes we got to get up early. I used to do some on Friday nights. I ain't gonna do Friday nights too much until the farmers market's over. I might be able to do it a little better in the autumn when the farmers market starts an hour later in the morning. But look, when you got to get up at 4 o'clock in the morning, staying up to 2 o'clock in the morning, it's kind of rough. We go pretty late on these. Yeah, why? Oh, Wise Owl was here earlier, so I just missed her. Okay, good. She's a busy girl. Tucker was only on for 9 minutes out of 3 hours. What? You don't want Tucker on the CNN? How come was he on only 9 minutes, Lee? What's cooking, Lee? Lee, what's the latest? I saw you had a late news thing. Okay, I'm finally at the bottom of the chat room. Lee, what's the biggest news right now? What's the biggest breaking news? Susie Q says eek. But because we're talking about worms. Storms all around on Sub-Zero. Sub-Zero. How do you get Sub-Zero in Arizona? I am going to pull up another thing here, guys. A couple more things to show y'all in the world of websites. Got 3 more websites to share with you here tonight. My memory is limited, so I can't pull them all up at one time. We'll do 4. Some of you guys are just joining. Yeah. All right. Come back here, hit share. Bing, 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 bing. Bing, bing. All right, guys, check it out. Freedom Restoration Foundation.org. Take action. What other prepper gives you this kind of access? I created the organization and this website. And if there's something you feel strongly about, now we got alerts we post here. And I got a new guy to start maintaining this for me. And he needs to take some of these old ones out. There's some new ones that need to come in here. But you see the kind of stuff we write alerts about. When you check one of these alerts, if you click on this arrow, you get a lot of details about it, websites. Oh, it's been, well, would you believe that? No way. Something we support would do this? No. No, how would that happen? Strange business. Okay. Lee, can you believe that happened on our platform? only 220 to 250, says Lee. What is that? 400 military planes over the U.S. today. Oh, I saw that headline. Lee, yeah, what do you think's cooking, Lee? I did this video talking about why it might be urgent to China to want to move on Taiwan sooner or later rather than later. 400 military planes. That's almost double. Why, Lee? What do you think is cooking? What's your opinion? Do you have an opinion on it? That is rather bizarre, guys. That is bizarre. Talk to us, Lee. What do you think? Suzuki, nothing surprises me. Mainly South Central U.S. Like in my area. 2 military helicopters. Well, you know what? We got AMCOM here. We got the aviation command here. So yeah, we get a lot of helicopters out here. We have plans to do something big. I can believe that. I just showed a video recorded last night and posted 6 today that we were sending B-52. No, we were sending B-2 bombers escorted way out over the Pacific as a message to China. That's what I said. Huge show of force. Well, to be, they can, yeah, that we could do more than that. That's not a huge show of force, but it's a show of force. Well, this is interestingly, Rucker. Well, that's south of me. Florida, China. Fort Rucker is down in South Alabama, in the Wiregrass area. That's where they do all the training, helicopter training. The helicopter engineering is done up here now, but Fort Rucker has got the training center. So yeah, let's switch over. Oh yeah, guys, when you come in here, Freedom Restoration Foundation, click on the Action Center. Of course, it repeats these alerts. The top alerts will probably be the only ones on that other page. We'll probably change it. Make your voices count, the basics. National bill tracking, how to track bills in the Congress, how to track bills in the state, how to find your state legislator website. So we're not just about national stuff. There's a lot of things that can be done at the state level, a whole lot. Find out who your congressman is. Everybody has 1 member of the House of Representatives that represents them and 2 senators. It tells you about sending an email, about calling, writing, how to do it, what to write, what to say on the telephone. And then here's all the websites and phone numbers again. Congressional switchboard. You can get any congressman by using congressional switchboard, guys. It's 1 for Senate, 2 for House, and vice versa. It tells you up here. Right here. 1 for Senate, 2 for the House. That's what I said. Press 1 for the Senate, and 2 for, if you want to talk to somebody in the House of Representatives, call that number. Guys, that number gets you anybody in the Congress. Okay. Here's our Survival Tribe Network. If you're not joined, come in and join. Wise Out invested a lot of money in setting us up. It's kind of slow to update the pages here. Our mission, our group. It's Wise Out. Hey, if you want to buy worms, look, as long as you get them before midnight on Friday of next week. No. This is Friday. You can get them by midnight this Friday. I'll ship them Monday. Anything after that, don't count on. I might be able to take in a few orders come later, but I really want to disable the buttons on this thing again, probably because I've got to be up all night on the 27th to support that launch on the morning of the 28th. I'll be up all night. I got to be on console, the Space Launch System, Artemis 1 mission. You want to buy worms? And click this button. It takes you to PayPal. I may park these buttons for a week where you can't go through. The donate button will still work if I do that. If you manage to order worms in between after Friday midnight, you probably won't get them until another week. But I don't need a bunch of orders batching up on me, more than a process. So I'd ask y'all kind of reframe. Again, hey, my patient supply, you might have missed this. I talked about it earlier in the video. We got a special right now, $250 off the 3-month supply of food. The cheapest price since 2019, guys. What else is going down? Don't expect this to last long. I only expect this to last to maybe the end of the month at tops. Guys, that's $2.56 a meal. If you can't afford that, there's a 4-week supply. It's $50 off. So check it out. Bargain wise, that's the better bargain if you can afford it. So check it out, guys. This is what the food looks like when it reconstitutes. It's real food. Rice pudding, mac and cheese. Chocolate pudding. You do get desserts, orange drink mix. You get drinks, banana chips, there's fruit. There we are, guys. Enough of them. Stop the share. Few days. The plate of worms looks yummy. Oh yeah, I'll get straight from that prep with Greg's, right? From one food to another. That was a bowl. Helicopters landing in Oakland and this airport. All right, so guys, go check out Lee's video on this. He did post a video earlier. Go check it out. Lee, this isn't going to hit that isn't going to hit the Earth. And that is the reason. Oh no, the asteroids, no, there's none of them that we know of that's coming here anytime soon. We don't know of an asteroid that's going to hit us anytime soon, despite what Ben, what's his name over on oh gosh, I'm forgetting his name. Ben on Israeli News Live. That guy's always telling, he came out 2 years ago and says we're going to get hit by a swarm of asteroids, in September of October that year. He says, he said October. Or no, he's next talking about November, December. He said, but come September to October, no one on earth will be able to deny it. You're going to know it. Everybody, no one will be able to deny it. So I came out in August and I said, no, it's not going to happen. No way. That is wrong, because all the astronomers we have, even all the amateur astronomers, if there's this kind of stuff is coming in the solar system, they know it. And I went in great detail about it, explained it. And so I busted him good. Steve Benoon's his name. I said, this is not going to happen. He is wrong. This channel is still like zillions of times bigger than me. He's predicted this 2 or 3 times. Every time he's been wrong. He's been wrong time and time and time. I mean, dead wrong. So much dead wrong, I could come out and call him out on it in advance, and I'm going to be right. But guess what? People will listen to him before they'll listen to me. They just, why? Why? He gets 100 times more views probably than me. He gets way more views. His channel's blown up big. Why do people still listen to the same old guy crying wolf all the time? Why do you listen to the same junk? By golly, I'm an engineer. I'm a scientist. I understand how the daggum solar system works to a large degree, more than Stephen Banoon at least. And he goes, well, I got sources in the Pentagon. I got this. I got sources in the intelligence. Well, his sources ain't worth 2 cents. And I said that then. His sources are no dang good. I also have sources. In fact, one of the guys I've interviewed on this channel, Ambassador Hank Cooper, is a friend of mine. And he was the man who was totally in charge of Ronald Reagan's Star Wars program, the Strategic Defense Initiative Organization, Ambassador Hank Cooper. And his video only got like 1,000 views on my channel. So, what? This is the one guy that told us how to fix the power grid. The one guy who had the answer and nobody wanted to watch it. So, really? An ambassador, holy smoke, guys, who ran a major Pentagon-level department. The spending on Star Wars is what caused, according to a lot of people, the Soviet Union to break apart, destroyed an evil empire. And this man was in charge of it. And nobody wants to hear it. You'd rather go listen to Steve Banoon blow smoke and talk goofy crap. There, that's the calendar I have back from the days when I worked on that program. That's the calendar from 1988. SDI, Strategic Defense Initiative. 1988. It's kind of a silly, funny calendar. But yeah, I've had generals on my channel. I've had Dr. Peter Vincent Prowl on my channel many times, and many other top level experts, colonels on my channel. Guys, don't worry about Stephen Banoon. I'm going to tell you that. He might get a little intel about what's going on in Israel every now and then, but I've heard him make forecast after forecast after forecast after forecast. This is going to happen. That's going to happen. I don't tell you something's going to happen. I usually tell you there's a chance of it. You know, I don't know that China will attack Taiwan, but they want to if they can. They really want to force Taiwan into giving up. They hope that by squeezing on them, that they'll just surrender, but they're not going to do it. I don't think. The fact the more China squeezes on them, the more they don't want to be part of it. That's been the trend so far. It's hard to see that turn around anywhere soon. I don't know, maybe a strict enough blockade, Taiwan might cave, but I kind of doubt it. I really do doubt it. So if Xi Jinping, if his ego and his power, his cult of personality requires him to be able to deliver on what he said was his #1 priority, he may go in. And if he's going to go in, he's going to do it before 2027. And because the demographics in China start really falling apart. And I think they're going to fall apart before then. It might be within the next 2 years or sooner. We've had people, sources say could happen this October. May happen sooner. They may start the blockade soon. But the fact is they haven't really started a full-time blockade yet. Probably means they're not quite ready just yet. So what are they waiting on? A few more defenses for our stuff. We're still not building enough ships. It's going to be a while before we can turn that around. There's a window of vulnerability where we're more vulnerable than a couple of years and are a little strong if their economy permits it. Now, they may have to move sooner. Another reason he may not want to start a war right now is it may not be a good time for them before the Party Congress, the 20th Party Congress. The CCP, the Chinese Communist Party, occurs in November while we're having our midterm elections. All right, what am I missing here? Granny, that's the #1 rule of farming: never name your food. Well, I know people have rabbits and name their rabbits that they plan to eat. They'll name one pork chop and one hamburger, whatever, you know. Yeah, sure enough, they name their rabbits bacon. I would at least say that I missed. Buffoon should be his name. Stephen Banoon, Stephen Buffoon. Hey, Lee and I agree on this. This is one thing Lee and I agree on, absolutely. There are several other channels. A lot of people just take a lot of these things people tell you, and like what's his name, Dutch Sense. People just believe Dutch Sense is the best, smartest thing in the world. But Dutch Sense was not making any sense when it's talking about lasers and space. That would not. We don't have the physics for that. It just would not happen that way. And Lee and I beat on that real good. Now, what he covers in earthquakes, I don't watch his channel. So I don't know, guys. When he blows me off so much in one area, I'm not going to watch anything else he says. When I'm the expert, and I know this is the case, and here's a proof. When this proof is bunkers, not right, it's lens flare stuff. It was always, his so-called lasers is always exactly the same color of whatever the image of the fire was. That's the lens effect, guys. That's always going to be a lens effect. I'd rather eat worms than crickets, says Cheerweather. Well, yeah, hey, my friends, Charles Schwab's our buddy. He really wants you to eat insects and only insects. Charles Schwab's got a plan for you. He loves you so much. He'll liberate you from all your property. You don't have to worry about anything as long as you'll suck up to him. Yeah, right. He wants that. Well, thanks for sharing Lee's channel in you days. Good job. No, let's see. Let's see. And Arnold says, and besides, NASA only reports them after they pass by. Well, that's when they're seeing them for the first time sometimes. Yeah, you could have one that we don't know about, but the probability is rather low. At least in any one given year. Over the long term, the probability is, yeah, we're going to get hit. That's a given. We're going to get hit. But the probability in any one day or year is very low. But over time, it's a certainty. Just how much time. It's a matter of time. I mean, we'll get stuff that would take out a city, maybe something take out a state. It's the bigger the impact, the longer the time interval in the probability. It's just totally probabilistic. There's more smaller things than there are larger things out there in the asteroid world. Comets kind of the same way. If a comet hits you, they're coming in a lot faster from deep space. It's another reason space is real. The further the objects come in from, the faster they go. Just like the diagram I showed you guys. So look, this asteroid's got just 4 kilometers a second. It's over. It's going to be like Earth. This one's got over 35 kilometers per second. It's going to have a very elliptical orbit. And I showed you this stuff. Astronomers on ground can confirm these kind of things, guys. So cha-cha, talking to Chewy, Arnold, for all you flat earthers. Yeah, like Prancer and Dasher. Oh, okay. What's Granny saying? Hey, now I'm Santa Claus, so don't run my reindeer down, guys. Scooby Snacks in there. Okay. Good to see you, Scooby Snacks. Lee, the one we're talking about when you came in. Oh. Helicopters land at Oakland Airport today. Oh, wow. So Lee says something big is going down. Well, that kind of stuff, that means that's going to be pretty darn soon if something goes down. Many trainers in the Florida Panhandle and Northeast Texas, usually a high number, central area of the Navy. Okay, Rochelle. What asteroid Sub-Zero? Sub-Zero is talking about asteroid. There is no asteroid we know of right now that's coming at us. Don't mean one isn't, but we don't know of one. My opinion is it's getting ready to, oh, that's what Sub-Zero thought. With all the military action going on in the world, if our military is getting that hyper, it might be that we're anticipating the first strike, or maybe we want to preempt one. Wow. That's coming out of the Biden administration. I'm surprised. I'd be surprised. But who knows? Maybe they need a war for the midterm elections. 2 days. 2 days is not hungry enough to eat the worms yet. Or the bugs. Hey, She Garden's really good. I had somebody put a comment on one of my channels. Oh, Greg, I live in Maine. We can't possibly grow that kind of food in Maine. Days does. She grows enormous amounts of food in a very small area. Just like the DeVace family in Southern California. Over 7,000 pounds of food on a tenth of an acre. Days does it in Maine with no special systems, guys. Oh man, this is grossly. What did Lee say? They're making cheese puffs with cricket flour. Why you want to eat processed food? There's all kind of tons of chemicals and all kind of, high fructose corn syrups on. That's what's making you fat. That's what's giving you diabetes. That's what's messing your heart up. It's messing your brain up. Don't eat that junk, people. Don't eat it. Wow. The goons are my dogs. Yep, she's got her goons. Legendary Bunny Man of Bradford. Only and idiots are predicting them. Yeah, they're hard to predict unless we see one. Once we got one identified and we watch this orbit, we're identifying more and more, and we watch those orbits. Then we ought to know. But the ones we know, and we've cataloged a lot now, we believe we've cataloged most of them that are above a certain size range. There's still a lot of little ones we haven't cataloged. Comets now, that's a whole different thing. You got comets coming out of the work cloud you don't know nothing about because they haven't been in our vicinity for tens of thousands of years. We got that huge one that's, like, 60, 90 miles across. Fortunately, it's not coming into the inner solar system, we hope. Hope it don't break apart. The holy guac and smokemoto, that's a ginormous comet. It don't mean that one can't. If we hit a comet like that hit Earth, that is way, way, way bigger and way more energetic than what wiped out the dinosaurs. Something like that would probably wipe out the amoebas. It would be beyond a bad day. That would be what we would call the end of time. GG, I haven't seen Santa for so long, and I still believe. You're looking at him. Come on, guys. I think all this Santa stuff's all about. Oh, come on. All right, this lady is cool. I can let my hair down, guys. It's not hot. I don't even have a fan once at my ceiling fan. There we go. I've had it all tied up. There we go. My Santa rodent. Santa is actually based on a combination of Odinic and mythology and St. Nicholas. Yuletide. That's from the old Germanic and Nordic traditions there. GG, I haven't seen. Oh, yeah, I just read that. Scooby and snacks. I need some brew. Snoop had a break, needed it. Said, yeah, I'm not into brew. You guys can't do it. Merlin says cha cha. Ooh, it may be still a little warm to have my hair down. My ears are getting warm. They're just not used to it. I've been tying it up in a ponytail here for a few months. Yeah, I still got hair. Sometimes I tie up the ponytail. Sometimes, Greg, did you cut your hair? No. Plenty of it. It's not even gray yet. My beard is. But I still have some red in here. Let's see it. There's still some red in here. There's a few traces down in here. My beard was red. My hair is a strawberry blonde. My beard was redder. Well, it's probably too strawberry blonde, but it was redder than my head back in the days. All right. Giving up brewing for a bit. For Lee, are you still with us? What do you have any notion what's cooking? Anyone near New Hope, Alabama? Oh, I used to drive through New Hope all the time. New Hope's between me and where I grew up. I grew up on Sand Mountain. I'm from, I went to high school in Albertville, but I live north of Huntsville. New Hope's on 431. So Donald, yeah, it's not that far from where I'm at. I'm on the other side of Huntsville. I'm up in Tony, which is 8 miles from Tennessee border, but that's not that far. Hey, get that out of here, folks. Hide that guy. There we go. Thank you. Report them. Your red hair may be turning white, but you can never shake the red head attitude. No, mine ain't turning. Well, I'm just white down here, guys. Check that out. That ain't got none of that in it. Now it is creeping up higher on my hairline over time. So some of the hair underneath is getting that way. But seriously, on top of my head, look. No, you got head hair. My mother died when she was 76. Really young in her family. She had tons of aunts and uncles of hers that went to her funeral. That was young. She got renal cell carcinoma. And it's probably because after she divorced my dad, she got to drinking too much. But she she had red hair when she died. She didn't have gray, and she didn't dye it. So I'll probably keep red hair for a while. Reported, thank you, Rosemore. Gotham, good job, guys. Well, you mods have been busy tonight. You've had your hands full. Broken fish. I grew up drinking from a garden hose. Kept the water bottle. Yeah, I drank from garden hose tons when I was a kid. You know, it's got some lead in it. You really shouldn't drink from a garden hose. Well, there you go. Yeah, still here. Lee, you want to adventure any? I love Greg's humor, says CR. Do you want to adventure any opinion? What do you think it's cooking? Or just general vague, in general vague terms? Think you feel safe to pontificate on? So we like to stay in the world of facts and technical. Merlin, oh, we got Merlin house. Merlin and Faye King's Crown. I went there last week. Oh, you went through there, Donald. Okay. Yeah, New Hope has got some, you know, the foothills, the Appalachians, the Flint, Paint Rock River runs just north of there. I live right next to Paint Rock River when I was up in Paint Rock Valley. Now you talk some hillbilly country. Snowflakes here. Oh, Weasley. I got somebody that can't handle the heat. I think they're worried about China and Russia. Well, yeah, we ought to be. We are possibly stumbling into World War III with both of them. And even though both of them have some crappy militaries, and they do, they also both have nuclear weapons. They both can, either one of them could EMP us. They could hack our systems. They could do, and if they made their only advantage, the only way they win, China or Russia, is if they do a first strike on the U.S. EMP us, hack the crap out of us, and maybe attack our satellites with their anti-satellite weapons. That is how they would win. That's their only chance. No, we don't want snowflakes. If you're a snowflake, man, you can't handle the heat in this place. You can't handle the heat of us telling the truth, and you can't handle the heat of the love that my subscribers have for each other. We're a family here, guys. Now, hey, I like Snowflake, Arizona. And I like snowflakes on the ground, like where I lived up in Alaska. But people that are snowflakes, forget about it. No use for such folks. Oh, yeah, I got something about that. Hang on. Hang on. Hang on. Finally. Ta-da! Caution, snowflakes. You've been in trouble here. Also, you got to watch out. Caution, wormholes. We have wormholes. You might fall in. Good place to throw a snowflake. And if you are a flat earther, we're just going to push you over the edge. Not, we don't believe in the edge, but you might find your way down a wormhole. You can't handle the heat in this place. The U.S. government is buying tons of DJI drones, even though they're known to be spy devices for China. Wiley, that don't make no damn sense. See our usual lady, yes, land, those snowflakes report for duty. Maybe on me too, I love snow for a little while. Guys, when I lived at Fort Greeley 2 years, it was like living in a Christmas card 9 months out of the year. I've seen people standing on a lake ice fishing in the month of May. Sure enough. So if that tells you anything, we got the first year I was up there, we got our first snow, I think either the 15th or 16th of August. Yeah, like, it was already before this time of the year. We had our first snow at Fort Greeley. It was just a little snow, hit everything, made all the tundra turn brown. You got autumn colors and the tundra. And 2 weeks later, 1st of September, the permanent snow came. Hello, America. Greg, I am a red step stacker. A red step stacker. I have suggested to my audience that we hold our federal tax and pay back later to cut funding immediately. Well, I probably couldn't opine on that and stay on the channel, but you know, hey, if you're bold enough, why, hey, Biden is bought and paid for by China. Yeah, I kind of wonder a lot of this posturing he's doing is so the Chinese can point to us as an enemy that they need, so they can prop their state up from falling in because of all the financial crap going on there. China's imploding, so maybe we're giving them what they need to keep the regime running a little longer. That's something I really wonder about. Or maybe even our side, no one, think about this. If you want to set up a world order and you want to run it where people got no rights, who's the biggest population that's going to have a hard time with that? Right here. Maybe that's why they demonized Betsy Ross flag, Gadsden flag. Guys, we are the one thing standing between the devil's world and whatever you want to call it, the new world order and freedom. They don't want us. But we ain't going down. They don't want us. So maybe they would like to invite an attack on this nation. The elites may not want us around. I don't know. Just speculating, guys. Wild speculation. Don't say Greg Allison says it's this. I'm just throwing some speculation out there. I'm just asking questions. Is that the case? You tell me. What do you think? Tell me in the comments or in the notes below if you're watching later. I'm sick of what the leaders are doing. And man, who in this country is it? You know, I just saw a poll that says that the Dems are within 1/10 of 1% of catching up. That apparently they were way behind the Republicans for the midterms. They're catching up fast. How's that? Everybody wants more IRS check boots. I don't know, guys. That made no sense to me. Good night, Scooby. It is 2:12. We're gonna have to call this an end here in a minute. I think it's been good having you in the house, especially as long as you've been here. Kathy Pittman, Dr. Merlin. Wars raise revenue. Oh yeah, you know, hey, it funds the military-industrial complex if they can keep it from going nuclear. But sometimes things escalate when you don't want them to. It's very obvious they're trying to destroy us. You gotta wonder. All right, Lee. Yeah, me too, guy. Thanks for being here, Lee. So, Lee, you moved to Dallas? Is this your permanent new place? I don't know, Greg. That's totally possible. Falls in line with what I know. Yeah, I hear you. I'm trying to not, you know, I gotta watch what I say on this platform, Arnold. I can't just put it out there. You know what I mean? So I throw things out as questions, conjecture, you know, I gotta be careful. Tomatoes, onions, peppers, cucumbers, so good. Think sauce, especially how to make how do you say that? Yes, DFW. Oh, so you're close to DFW, the Dallas Fort Worth area. Okay. All right, Lee. I've flown through there a million times, that big airport. All right, Lee. Well, maybe when I get down to Texas sometime, I might, or running back and forth to Arizona, I might be able to call in on you. You and I, we already set some plans. Lee, you've watched my videos about the my solid rocket booster drone swarm concept for interceptors to block incoming weapons. I've done about 3 or 4 videos on that topic. Check them out. So, guys, here's something to think about before we part. Lee has got a communications network he's trying to set up to be survivable in a grid down event. They're trying to go to radios. We've got our tribe, survival tribe network. We're trying to turn the politics of this country so we still got our freedoms. That's why we got the Freedom Restoration Foundation. Guys, we're really trying to put together a network. We need to form communities. We need communities that can survive this stuff. And we need to be able to communicate, trade. Hey, if you go to my website, you can buy gold backs. That's going to have value no matter what. They try to force us in the central bank digital currency. Forget about it. Every penny you've got is going to have a string attached to it. And Uncle Sugar is going to be on the other side of that string, ready to jerk it back if you're not making them happy. All right, there, North Shore. Yeah, we got to call it a night here. Ben Lee says it was good. Thank you, guys. Time to go to bed. All right, anybody help? We got 95 in the room. Yeah, we're dropping fast. Not left on trip yet. First test is next week. Okay. All right. Yeah, Lee, we're going to have to talk to, see if we can get a hold of Travis Taylor. Called his number once, but I haven't followed up. I've just been busy. Foundations are Protestant and prosperous. Yeah, that's interesting, right? It's interesting how that breaks down. Okay, I'll be careful what I say here. You know, I can tell you, I'm not a religious channel, but I do believe in a greater creator, and sometimes I do believe in the power of prayer. Mugwort tea. And sometimes we do pray for members here that are afflicted. I'm just going to say it's late, it's 2 o'clock. We've been going for 2.5 hours. Give me 100 pounds of sugar, I can make a profit. I got that. Hey, you can make a profit growing worms, especially when the grid goes down. It's a great profit. It's a great prepper business. Everybody's going to want them when the grid goes down. Guys, I think we're going to call it a night here. Pray before you go to sleep for some of the people on our channel, especially Greenland's daughter Kaylee, and for how does a state create currency? And they back it up with their military. Fiat currency. Oh, we endorse this, so you take it. And people are willing to trade in it. Moonshine, says New Day. There you go. Hey, Greg, I just did a video on the declassified experimental planes on the Air Force. You might enjoy. Okay, everybody, check out Hello America's channel, guys. Sounds interesting. Let me go to YouTube up here. Pull that up in a minute. All right. Where's that at? Probably like crypto. Oh, Hello America's got a decent sized channel, 2,680 some odd subscribers. So I am going to do a quick share. We'll go ahead and check it out, guys. Hang on, guys. Hang on. Make the wrong screen. There. There's the channel. Here, American is hot dogs, mom, and apple pie. And it's Hello America. Fireworks supermarket. Alien school. Or a faucet, that big plane. It's like we need to go to videos here. See what the latest one is. Oh, that's it. Experimental declassified. Oh, that's the video. All right, guys, go in here and check this video out. Check this video out. Subscribe to this channel. It's like a good guy here. One kind, magnificent. All right, guy, blow his channel up. Give him some subscribers here. Oh, okay. Yeah, he's got some interesting videos. Well, check him out, guys. All right, I'm gonna stop share. And we need to call tonight. I paid $10 for 10-pound bag of potatoes. Yeah, isn't that crazy? It's be $2 or $3. Yeah. I mean, there's stuff I've been buying stuff for 10 and $8 and $10. It was $2. Oh, look, my power bill about 3 years ago, it was $200 a month for this time. Now I'm paying $600 for a power bill in the summer. I ain't even got AC, guys. No AC. Jeez. Yeah, inflation. Now, I told you guys inflation was coming. Been saying that since I started this channel. Inflation's coming. You know, you can't have the kind of government expenditures we're having and not have inflation. So what's the government do to solve it with this anti-inflation bill? Spend more money. How's that going to solve the problem? The problem started with spending more money. I tell you, everything, every bill passes Congress, if you want to know what it's about, take the title of it and turn it around the other way. It's always about the opposite. Oh yeah, it's about grabbing money. That's where our IRS agents come in. They'll be coming to a door near you soon. That's why you need to go to Freedom Restoration Foundation and let your leaders hear about it. You don't know part of it. All right, guys, we got to call it a night. It is late. It's 2 o'clock here in the morning. Past almost 2:30, almost 3. I got chores to do before I go to bed, guys. Them TVA boys are getting rich. Yeah. You know, a lot of power bills going because the price of petroleum's gone up. Wow. I guess the price of water going through the Tennessee Valley dams has got higher. The price of water must be going through the roof. Or the nuclear power plant, uranium. No, it ain't gone up that much per se. Guys, what a sham. What a sham. Where's that money going? What a sham. I do go across the country and find the unique things in America to celebrate them. Very good. Hello, America. Guys, check the channel out. It's got some good videos now. Check them out. I wish I could send you sugar, says Rainy Lana. Oh, Matterman, what's going on with you, man? What's happening, Matterman? Are you okay? And thanks to the prayers. Yeah, we got to pray for Granny's granddaughter. Okay, guys. I love flare guns. Burn right through a human. Ooh. Yeah. Or just street flares, guys. Oh, I tell you what, let's do a quick prayer, guys. Anybody got a prayer request? What you got to pray for? I got a house guest who's sick with a cerveza bug. Very sick. You don't own nothing, you'll be happy. Well, that's what they tell us. Not because they'll have us a darn drug, you don't know any different. Oh, I'm happy because they tell me I'm happy. I'm happy I've got these nice shankles around my hands. Well, look how pretty they are, and they're heavy duty. And they keep me from bashing my brains out. So they're just worried about my safety. That's why they shackle me up. When they don't let me go outside anymore because they're worried I might get sunburned. And to keep the bad guys from breaking in. They're so good to me. They put bars on my windows. Aren't they so nice? I love them so much. It's obvious how much they love us. And they tell us that meat is bad for us, so they don't give us no meat. We're only eating stuff full of loaded up with high fructose corn syrup, and it must be good for me because look how big and fat I'm getting. Man, they love us so much. I'm so happy. We got to pray for Granny's granddaughter, Kaylee. And let's pray for Randy Blythe, Blue Bottle Bunny Farm. I'll be talking when you buy. I'm talking what you buy for a boat, not a roadside flare. Oh, yeah, I know the flare gun. I get it. But the road flares, if you stick it on somebody, they would burn bad. Anyway, pray for U.S. You got that right. Hello, America. Let's pray for this country. Guys, we may be on the verge of something big and bad. All the military aircraft up today that Lee was telling us about, that's huge. All the stuff cooking over in Russia, the ante is going up. The ante is going up with China. The ante is going up with Iran, North Korea. It's not pretty, guys. It's not pretty. We should all thank God for his grace and appreciate. Yeah, that's the first thing you should do when you pray. Thank God for his grace, forgiveness, and for all the wonderful things we've had and been blessed with. And maybe we'll keep some of that. We just got to get through this time coming, guys. It's about to hit the fan. Our mission is to survive it. Stand up on the other side, shake the dust off, and build a better world. Don't forget, I always tell you, well, I'll tell you this was one better. Accurate, where you been? Guys, let's say a prayer. Not a religious channel, but I do believe in the power of prayer. I believe in a greater creator. Go into definitions. If you don't believe, then you can meditate and enjoy a moment of silence. Pray as it's your custom to pray. I'm not telling you how to do it. So let's have just a moment here. Amen. Accurate here. So okay, we still got A5 in the room. We picked up a few. Chandler, U.S. Island. Yeah, we just said our little prayer here, guys. All right, guys. I want to thank everybody for being here tonight. I want to thank all the mods. Y'all been real busy. Thank you all you who've given me thumbs up. 178. You know, I hadn't been picking on that. Y'all should, if you haven't given me a thumbs up, smash it now. If you're watching this video later, do it. Yeah, white phosphorus is some nasty stuff. Good for planting things. Well, you need phosphorus. Yeah, phosphorus is an essential element for growing plants. Phosphorus, potash, comes from China, most unfortunately. So watch that. Nippy NF for real. Yeah. We get the potassium, potash, phosphorus, excuse me. All right, guys, I'm late. My brain's getting scrambled here. So me and the Lord talk all this time. There you go, Mannerman. That's the way to do it. That's how you live your life. Communicate. Thank you, everyone. I appreciate everyone. Good night, GG, and good to be here. Yeah, you've been busy tonight. You've been busy. Remember, folks, don't pray out of fear. There you go. Very true. We're going to get through this. Just have that attitude. You don't see me on here, you know. Some people tell me I'm promoting fear porn. No, I come with solutions to everything. I have hope. if I didn't have hope, I wouldn't be building a mushroom house. I wouldn't be growing microgreens. I wouldn't be growing shipping worms all over the country. I'd restructure them. I only deal with business locally that did not have power. And I could do that with the worms. Absolutely can. Phosphate rock, North Carolina, massive. That's good. Alrighty, folks. It's been a good night. It's been real. Again, I want to thank all you mods. Thank everybody for coming here. Thank everybody that's gave me a thumbs up. I said I got a few more thumbs up. Mash that thumbs up, guys. I really need the help with the algorithm has no rhythms. Share my videos, please, guys. Go and look at my different videos and share them. Social media, everywhere you can. This channel needs some help. You know, when guys like Stephen Benoon can come over here and talk all a bunch of junk. All these things are going to help me. I got experts in the Pentagon, intelligence community. They got all this. This is what they're telling me, and it's all wrong repeatedly, year after year after year after year. But their channels keep growing like crazy. They're huge. They get so many tens of thousands of views. Come on. Anyway, so help us get this out, guys. I'm trying to put out truth. I don't say I know everything. I don't. No human does. No human's perfect. And who knows? Maybe even Stephen believes that crap. Maybe he believes this stuff. Maybe he's scratching himself on the head, going, "Oh, how come I didn't help him?" I don't know, guys. But God loves us all equally. That's true. Even Stephen Benoon. Who knows? He may love him more. No, he loves us all equally. You're right. Pablo, hi, Greg. What's the best and fastest emergency alert channel to be informed in case of emergencies? Actually, Lee has got an amazing network. If you're on Lee's network and you got a tornado in your area, he will call you. So many channels pay for views, so don't sweat it, Greg. Oh, is that what's happening? We all need God. All right, guys. Once again, thank you all so much for being here. Please share my videos. We need to get this stuff out. You know, I got all these nuclear survival videos. Who else has got that kind of information? Who else is talking about survival tribes, except for Wise Owl, and talking about, well, Preparedness has got his own little groups going on. They got Discord, but who else has got something like the Freedom Restoration Foundation? And I'm bringing videos to show you how to eat from the weeds and the trees and how to garden, how to raise worms, all these things. Did a video on silent hunting. I'll probably do more of that in the future. I need to do more outdoor stuff. So, and we got more of that coming. So, guys, we're trying to keep it real, but I also try to bring a level head to this. I try to look at what's really going on in the world. I try to understand it, and I've got a long background in military strategy. When I was in high school, I actually bought books on military strategy when I was in high school, guys. Actually, I think it was in middle school when I bought them. So I've been reading this kind of stuff and studying this stuff all my life. And I'm not a young guy, so there's quite a bit of time in this. And I've been studying countries and peoples and geopolitics and human personality and trying to figure out what makes people tick, what makes countries tick, what makes dictators tick, because these are key things to understand. If you don't understand those things, then if you think they think like us, you're wrong. Dead wrong. And that's where we screw up, guys. We think that they get the same level of compassion. They think have the same value systems. No, they're irrelevant to those people. They're irrelevant. I shared your original viral worm video. Thank you. And then I shared a video where your team members came over and brought some worms to get started. That was one Step Stacker Intel channel. All right, very good. Thank you so much. If only I could get up before the dew lifts. All right, guys. Yeah, we got to get up before the dew lifts. So let's go. Anyway, thank you all. Thank you so much. Love you all. I got a bunch of great followers here. I appreciate each and every one of you. So we're family. Don't forget it. And always remember, no matter what, there's good people of every race, color, creed, and religion from every village, hamlet, shire, town, city, neighborhood, neck of the woods across this planet. But the leaders of the world like to stir us up against each other, unfortunately. But there's people who give you the shirt off the back, anywhere you go. Good people. So We need to think about that. And the final advice I like to give so much is this: as light dispels dark, love dispels hate. Go out and shine your love light into the world, the light of love. So I'm going to say thank you all. Thank you all for being here. Thank you for watching. Thank you. Thumbs up. And